Ready, go. And welcome back, everybody. You know how we start this whole thing. Roll call.
Hiya.
Ryan.
Mikey.
Kyle.
And Steven! Welcome back to our 23rd episode of this campaign of our Elemental Evils, The Odd Jobs. Episode 23, Bounty in the Bog. Part
It's 2 less than 25.
dose. I know. You know what's going to be so funny? 24.
Oh.
Oh, whoa. Anyways, welcome back, everybody, to another one of our favorite games on the entirety of existence, Dungeons & Dragons. The last time we left the Odd Jobs, after having a night's rest in the city of Mulmaster, the Odd Jobs gathered together once again to speak to Captain Gideon Hulk. After learning about the situation on the North Road, just south of Mulmaster, the party accepted the job to follow Anghara Hedix down past the flooded forest to use her as bait to try to draw out these bandits that had been hitting caravans just south of Mulmaster, starting to interfere with some of Mulmaster's commerce and trying to avoid a panic. Captain Gideon Hulk called upon the Odd Jobs. The party met with Anghara, meeting her own kind of group of lifelong friends and family members, the Ember Axe sisters, and her own two nephews. On their two full wagons full of interesting goods, learning a bit about Anghara and her group and their old stories of Anghara and the Ember Axe sisters being in Icewind Dales, one of the farthest, most northwestern places in all of Faerun. The party quickly, upon hearing that the caravan was planning a 6-day travel from Mulmaster all the way down to Tantras, a city on the east coast of the Sea of Shining Stars, due south of Mulmaster. The party quickly went and tied up some loose ends, speaking to their various, for Jove, the Emerald Enclave, for Rory communing with the Box of Ilmater and using augury to get some insights on their new travel companions, and Jasper/Lapis quickly stopping in at the Shrine of Mask, receiving a ceramic mask for the time being and some new additions, as well as letting Kirk know of her new journey and giving him a bug-out bag of sorts of, I believe, 100 gold pieces and the words to go to Ekwars and give him that money should anything happen to her and their plot become uncovered. The party left Mulmaster with Anghara after coming back together, Freddy detecting no magic upon Anghara and her companions, and traveled due south through kind of the rolling hills that on the outside past Mulmaster, due south. When evening approached, the party split from Anghara due to her request of setting up two camps away from each other. However, impressed by Freddy's skills with the instruments, invited him over at least after dinner to provide some entertainment, where Freddy, Anghara, and members of her own group got to know a little bit about each other, kind of seeing where each one comes from, learning more about her life as a rogue in Icewind Dale, and putting the seeds of what might have been a beautiful relationship. Had it not been for the following night, as our party members bedded down and took watch, so did Anghara and her caravan. Unfortunately for them, they fell victim to this group of bandits who struck by night, whilst our own party members were unaware, hearing and seeing nothing in the middle of the night of this bandit swift attack. In the morning, I believe it was Jove and Freddy discovered the scene of the Ember Axes, Anghara, and her own nephews, unfortunately murdered in the night. Searching through Anghara's wares, the party found not the spoils of a wealthy merchant, but really more mementos and traveling gear shipped all the way down from Icewind Dales. However, all of the any sort of gold or food supplies, barring a suspiciously uh, dated thing of Icewind Dale jerky, the caravan had been left mostly intact. The party gathered the rest of Anghara and her crewmates, with Jove and Rory digging some graves for them, and Rory leading a small, almost kind of an obituary for their fallen companions. With Jove leading the way, the party picked up the trail of these bandits, not before having a small conversation with two horses that had recently belonged to Anghara, releasing them and hearing that the perpetrators of this murder, were all wearing dark brown cloaks. The group headed into the flooded forest, finding a strange, yellowish, almost kind of citronella like salve on trees, leading them deeper and deeper into the flooded forest, about a half a day's journey or so, give or take, and one level of exhaustion for all but the ranger. The party found a congregation of this salve, leading to what appeared to be a rather sizable island kind of in the middle of the flooded forest. The salve seemed to be keeping at bay a large number of giant wasps, as the party, through a combination of trying to sneak and mostly excellent coordination and ranged attacks, were able to get to this kind of sheltered area past the salve, moving up the island on a small hill, now looking down to kind of what almost like a bowl-shaped clearing in the middle of this island. The party sees four tents, three singular-looking tents. Looks like they house either one, maybe two people in them, and a fourth larger tent. What's inside the party is unaware, as they can just vaguely see what looks to be the ends of a campfire, a couple of individuals sat it around, and the flooded forest all around. So, party, you are currently kind of on this vantage point. Could I have all you guys roll perception for me?
My passive is 9.
Passive is 9.
My passive is 17.
Passive 12.
I rolled the 1, so my passive is 11.
Passive is 11. Looking around, it's as I've described. You see the number of smaller tents and then a larger tent a little whiles away from you. Yet at this point, probably a good 90 feet or so from the closest tent, being one of the smaller ones. The larger tent away from you, probably closer to about 120 feet away. While the rest of you are still slightly distracted, keeping an eye out for more of these giant wasps, Jove, with your 17, you can see what appears to be three individuals in dark brown cloaks, all kind of sitting with their backs to you towards what appears to be a small campfire, either cooking, drinking, conversing amongst themselves. You're not entirely sure right now, but you do see those three. However, the rest of the camp either appears to be empty or the occupants are inside their tents. You're not entirely sure.
And to be crystal clear, this whole little like inlet is completely surrounded by water besides the little patch that we went through.
In this part of the flooded forest, many of it is kind of like boggy, making it more difficult terrain. This seems to be an area that's raised and dry. Going out another like 120 feet from you for where you go out will lead you back more into the boggy area, and also where the giant wasps need to be patrolling. It's almost as if they've used this little island and salved part of it out to hide away in here, in this kind of one dry part.
So thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jove will kind of look to the party and in hushed tones say, well, folks, it looks like we got our brown coats over there. We just gonna go in shock and awe style, or we gonna try our hand at some silver tongue things? I gotta say, I think leading with the spear point sounds like the right idea here.
Yeah, that's our strong suit, and something tells me they're not gonna be so keen on people finding them out in the middle of nowhere.
I
I
can't.
I think whatever our strategy is, we need to do some scouting first, because it's not very often that we get the jump on whoever it is that we're jumping on.
Yeah,
No, I think that that's all correct. I think probably best to lean a bit aggressive here on this one. I personally don't know exactly how we'd lead a negotiation talk, and you're right, Freddy. We've got an advantage here for once, and probably be best to take advantage of that.
Do any of you have any means of scouting?
I mean, I can look for magic.
what about Johnny? Could he lend us a hand here?
He sure could. So I'll pop him out of his pocket dimension, because I do have him as a familiar.
Indeed, you do. Johnny pops out of his pocket dimension, landing just so on your shoulder, Freddy. And you see Johnny looks to the rest of you, gives you a couple clicks, and then gets the hair back.
That's my boy. Go in, be discreet. Real smooth, boy. Real smooth.
Johnny kind of nods the head, gets kind of real low, and then almost kind of slides down your arm, grabs onto a bit of your pants, and gets all the way to the ground, and looks back up to you, gives you his own little rat kind of finger guns, slicks the hair back, and begins to sneak his way into the camp. It takes him a little bit because he's only a rat.
While he's doing that, that would be great.
Yeah, what would you like to find?
Just like full cover so that like none of us are visible while this is happening.
Yeah, there's a number of trees around. Go ahead and everybody, with advantage at this point, go ahead and roll a stealth, which means everybody but Jove just roll normal.
Yeah.
Jove,
Yeah.
you roll with advantage.
Woo! That's a 25.
14.
That's a 22.
18. What the fuck?
What?
Yeah.
Nani
Eh.
the hell?
You find a particular grouping of trees just, maybe 10 feet forward, off to the side. He gives you the perfect vantage points. And, like, with Jasper leading the way, finding that place in the shadows, you sit in this kind of darkened area as Johnny begins his way. Could you have Johnny roll me a stealth? We'll have it with advantage because a rat in the forest, nobody would ever think.
Sure, let me look up the stat block.
Yes, indeed. I'll have you roll for Johnny. Ayo. It's a rat.
It's a rat. Alright. Senses. Smell. Doesn't say he has anything special with stealth. So, it's a +0. He gets A. Oh! 7.
A 7. Yeah. Johnny, real smooth. Books it forward. Runs past like a bit of the tents and everything. He goes by one, by second one, and he real smooth gets up on the log. And from Johnny's perception, you can see he's right next, and he sees the three kind of individuals in the brown cloaks, and they look down from bits of one's eating a meal, the others, sharpening what looks to be a short sword of some kind. The other one's using a dagger to pick something out of his teeth, and oh, a rat! One of them's gonna make a quick dagger attack towards Jonbon. Oh, that's only an 8. What's
That
Johnny's?
misses, baby.
Bing. As the dagger goes into kind of one of they've almost got like little bits of like stumps or like logs set up as seats, and right next to where Johnny's at, the dagger kind of dives in. What does Johnny do in this moment?
I'm just gonna tell Johnny, hey, book it, kid. Cheese it.
Uh, Johnny indeed begins to cheese it, full speed. Instead of running back towards you guys, runs straight towards like the biggest tent. Just kind of cheese it and get out of there. And you see kind of a bit of a commotion as Johnny like ducks underneath, goes right through into the largest tent. Inside, briefly, Johnny sees a number of crates and chests and what appears to be like a table with some sort of pieces on it. He can't see what's on top of it as he runs underneath, and he can see just inside that there is another individual who appears to be sleeping at this point. As he continues to run on through, and the ruckus as one of the dudes, you can hear him kind of grumbling, like opens up the tent, lets the light in as Johnny sneaks in through, goes straight through the back, running at his full mousy speed, ready speed. And there's a commotion as the individual in the bed begins to stir, but Johnny's out of there before they can take a second attack.
Okay, so he is hidden.
Yes, Johnny makes it out of the camp into kind of the flooded forest like area and begins making a very long circle all the way back. The rest of you guys, can I have you make a perception check from your hidey spots?
Holy shit, 15.
15.
18.
18.
18 as well.
I'm focusing on Johnny stuff right now.
Yeah, absolutely. As you're kind of like giving Johnny commands, you're getting this information back from your familiar. The rest of you guys can all see, you don't see Johnny quite for sure, but you know that it's definitely the work of Johnny. As you can, see kind of the commotion. One individual goes and you see the dagger be thrown. He goes and picks it up and opens up the tent and kind of looks around. And about a minute or so later, Johnny makes his way back to you, Freddy, and the rest of you all see that individual come back out of the tent, goes back, sits down by the fire, picks up the knife, sits back down, and continues on. They seem to be chatting, making comments about the rat, but the three individuals are still the ones that are outside.
So while I'm looking through Johnny's eyes, I'm gonna say quietly to my team, I'm gonna say, well, the fact that they haven't noticed it's a magic rat is kind of a good sign. They're not the experts in magic, because it's pretty obvious to tell that it's a magic rat, and it seems like they're just wanting to kill it like a normal rat. Johnny, I'm going to do something that we haven't tried yet, and I'm not really sure how it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try to do it. Here I go. And then I'm going to do my ritual for detect magic and see if I can cast it through Johnny, like how familiar you can use your spells through them, and see if that works.
Roll me a d20 with your charisma and your proficiency modifier to it. Let's see if you as Freddy the caster can pull this off.
Okay, charisma.
Like making a spell attack.
Okay, there we go. Hello. That's a big number. Where's my proficiency? 27.
Yeah, you perform the ritual, and you have kind of Johnny in like this focal point. And as you do, you've got your spell book out. It's really, you all see kind of Freddy like sit down, and in like kind of the most studious way you've ever kind of seen him, like opens the book, like almost reminiscent of Zan, and really like sits there, does it, and with a number of hand motions, a bit of components here or there, and just one single pluck, you see that kind of same. For you use kind of the blue mist that goes across the eyes when you're doing detect magic, and you see almost small like a little pair of blue sunglasses appear over Johnny's eyes.
Looks real cool.
It's real cool and a success. Johnny now has Detect Magic cast on.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'm not gonna have him go in yet because I'm gonna kind of pop out of my trance and let Johnny just kind of stay hidden for a second. So I have Johnny in there with my magic eyes. So I'm thinking that if we can cause a distraction with him, we can really get the jump on these fools. As opposed to just catching them off guard, we can just catch them looking the wrong direction, and just really get them in the back. It's kind of up to you guys. I don't want to make a decision without the team though.
I think that's a great idea. I've got some lantern oil here, and I'm willing to sacrifice some rags. I could maybe throw an on fire javelin to that back tent to really make them think that something's going on back there, and then we could rush up the tail.
Yeah, a combination of those two things I think might be good. Although they may see the javelin flying overhead and look in our direction instead. Might just want to rely on the rat for this one.
Good point.
Another thing to think about is if anybody wants to be invisible right now, because I kind of read up on that at the last time at school, and now that we're actually getting the jump on somebody, we can actually do some magic with that, if you will.
That sounds very useful. Yeah, that's more of a you thing. I don't know.
I think it gives us an advantage for sure. Whoever we think is gonna get the best first shot, or if you want someone to try and sneak in while fighting, but I don't know exactly how outnumbered we are here, so it might be
Might be a good way to get Jove in closer since he's no offense, but the rest of us run a little bit faster.
That's true. That's true. Though I am a little bit better at a distance, so I wouldn't mind staying along the rim and just throw down
Yeah, but
throw
you
down some javelins.
can't chuck a javelin from too far away. How far away are we?
You're about 90 feet from the closest tent, and they're in kind of like the farthest camp is like, or tent, I should say, is 120 feet, the big one from where you're at right now. So if you think of it like 30 feet as like a diameter from where like the two tents are, like the closest one, the farthest one being the biggest one.
It can be positioning. Don't mind sparing a little bit of my energy either.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you make me invisible, that would certainly get me to a good angle, while the quick folks are able to make the rush. So, I'm fine with that, just so long as nobody else thinks they're going to get more value out of being invisible. I'm relatively tiny as it is, so it makes trudging through all this a little bit easier. But I'm always happy to take an advantage if I can get one.
Now the timing on it is going to be a little bit difficult because that and my magic eyes are both things that I'm going to need my full concentration on in order to be able to keep them doing their thing.
Any
So,
chance we could get Freddy to make, or not Freddy, we could get the rat Johnny to start a fire?
I don't have any. Not that I've tried or anything, but none of my spells of fire go through him very well. So the best he could do is look for a lantern to knock over, as far as fire starting goes.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah, I can have him look for one of those on his next trip in.
Just the biggest distraction he can possibly make. I trust your judgment, and make sure it's on the opposite side of the camp. But I think that's the best cover we're gonna get.
Okay, I'm gonna not do it at the big tent because that's where a lot of the goods are kept, and if we can salvage as much of those as possible, I feel like that's gonna be what makes us look good.
Also, remember, we get paid extra if we can take any of them alive. So, if it becomes a rout, maybe we circle in and throw the manacles on them.
Yeah, if any of us find a good opportunity for that, let's take it.
I mean, just let me know when they're starting to look a little out of it, and I'll throw some of my sleepy juice on them. And by that I mean my sleep song.
Yeah, if we can get them weak, so that Freddy can knock out several of them, that probably is the best option.
All right. Well, it feels good to have the upper hand here.
Yeah.
So, I guess unlike most of our engagements where we're trying to kind of knock them down one at a time to be efficient, probably just deal some damage to all of them, I suppose.
Yeah, if I see anybody starting to cast magic, that's who I'm gonna be aiming at, because I know those magic casters can be a little bit of a nuisance.
Yeah, and especially if they've got that silence magic, which we think they have. It's not really my cup of tea, seeing as how my music is my magic.
So if we've got to make anybody die, let's make it the spellcaster. Is that what we're saying?
I'm saying please kill the spellcast though.
Okay.
Can't say that's my
Deal.
best fight. Yeah.
Well, then, should we break up like myself and Freddy so you can transfer over that invisibility magic when the time is right, and have our long-legged friends together as well?
Sounds sensible.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
You can do one of them classic pincer moves.
Yeah.
sounds-
DM is
Yes.
is their island they're camping on? Is it kind of equidistant from several sides, or?
Yeah, you can imagine that their camp is kind of in like imagine like a circle. You guys are like on the outsides where like the trees are thickest and everything, and then peering in. So like at 120 feet is that big camp, and then think of it like an upside down triangle for the other ones. The campfire is like right in front of that. That's where those three dudes are, and then like an upside down triangle. It's like tent, tent, tent. The whole thing across is only like 30 feet or so from like closest tent to the big tent. And so how you guys kind of go around it, almost think of them as like in a diamond pattern. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, depending on how you want to kind of approach it around, you guys they had their backs to you currently. Besides the rat, they seem to just be resting from whatever it is that they've been doing.
So, whichever side Johnny ends up on, we'll try to come at it from kind of the other ends of the other corners of a triangle, if that makes sense.
Oh, so you want to be like catty corner to wherever Johnny's at?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So, Johnny, gotcha. All right. So I've got, if I understand your guys' plan correctly, I've got Freddy and Jove in one team, and then I've got Jasper and Rory in the other team, because they're the fast ones. And you're going to have Johnny make a distraction on one side. Jasper and Rory are going to run in from the opposite side of wherever Johnny's at. And then from that just leaves us like where Jove and Freddy are going to be. That they're going to be a bit of a distance back and raining in attack. Is that?
I'd say we could do like a I don't know, like a clockwise movement, so we kind of get a good angle.
Yeah,
so
imagine that like the big tent is at 12, and the three smaller tents are at like 3, 6, and 9. If that helps us orient ourselves.
Yeah.
So if Johnny ended up at 12, like Rory and I would be kind of between 3 and 6, and then Jove and Freddy would be between 6 and 9, essentially.
Johnny will not be at 12
Okay,
because that's where all the cargo is.
gotcha.
So Johnny start at like 9, and then have you guys, do that just from the 9 orientation.
Right. Yeah. So.
Oh, like a
Rory
peace
and I
sign.
are
You come in
between-
on the spaces of the peace sign. You're shooting in those ways while Johnny pulls to the top. Okay. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let me have you guys roll initiative right now. And then I will let you guys, of course, be on your own initiative till the enemies also have their initiative. Because as of right now, this is the sneak attack round.
I believe initiative is a skill check for all of us exhausted folk.
Oh, yeah.
It is indeed.
Damn you.
Got a nat 20.
I got an at 22, but my lower was
Oh.
17.
Wow.
I still got a 20.
Wow. All right, post it up there for your DM, please.
Dice are in my favor, baby.
Rornak.
Didn't even need my advantage.
Thank you. A double 12s. Who wants to go first in that?
Keep tying. I'll go first,
Okay.
That's fine.
if that's alright. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have a bit more movement speed than you two, so that's fine with me. Do I? Or do you
Do
have
you?
40?
I got 40.
Oh, we're the same. It doesn't
And
matter
plus
then.
I can dash as a bonus action, so I can really get in there if I need to.
Any idea how fast I am?
Do you have any clue how fast I am?
Yeah, I'll go last. I got no worries.
Okay.
It means no worries for the rest of your days.
It's a
It's
problem
not
free.
problem-free. Oh, it's perfectly harmonized on my end. But the timing is probably off on your end.
We're always just because of technology, like half a beat off in either one direction, but it's always the right one, just not timed right.
There's no on my end. We did that at the exact same time, and it sounded beautiful.
Believe you.
I want to believe, and so I do believe. And then it was Jasper, then Rory. Okay. So, as you guys are getting into position, and I'll carry over that good stealth check as you guys are setting up, beginning the charge. You're at that kind of the tree line break from where you guys are at. It's all equal distance there, so that kind of from the side. So if it was 90 that way, come to the side. Okay, so you're about 80 feet from the tent in each one of your guys' kind of groups, to like the closest if you're on a straight line from it. What is Johnny doing at the 3 o'clock tent? Or 9 o'clock tent, my mistake.
He's gonna look for. I mean, now I'm taking back over. I'm gonna tell him, hey, look for some kind of lantern. You know, the fire prism.
Have Johnny make an investigation. No,
Okay.
perception. He's not trying to figure something out, he's trying to spot something.
And he's also gonna keep his eye out for anything magical. I mean, since they're my eyes, I'm keeping an eye out for anything magical while he's looking for the lantern.
You're doing the whole, take thine eyes. So you kind of got you're both sharing the shades, but you can't currently see.
He got a 15 perception.
A 15 perception. Looking around, the detect magic does ping towards the bigger tent as he is coming towards the smaller one.
So detect magic does go through. It would go through anything that they made these tents out of. So what class of magic and like what shape is the object?
It appears to be 3. They all seem to be tightly bound together. And that is... One is definitely illusion. One is... Oh gosh, hold on. Let me look at the school real quick.
Do they look like about where the cargo is?
Mm-hmm.
And not like, okay.
Exactly.
So
Confirming what your suspicions.
Okay. So it's not like items that they probably plan on using. It's stuff that they've stolen. So
You
it's
see
not
once
really
an
like
abjuration. Yeah, abjuration pings, illusion pings, one other one pings. Let me just find it school real fast. And divination.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, those 3, those ping towards that bigger tent. Looking around, Johnny ducks into one of the smaller tent, avoiding kind of the individual that threw a dagger at him the first time. And inside, with a 15, yes, he does find a lantern in there.
All right, bud. You know what to do. Just try not to get caught in the fire, because then I don't have you for a while.
Yeah, go ahead and have Johnny make a rat attack against the lantern.
Yo, rat trap? Is this Beast Wars? Let's go.
+0 to hit. Here we go.
It is inanimate.
It is indeed inanimate.
How about a 6?
How about a
Oh my
6?
God.
Luckily, it's inanimate. Go ahead and roll damage for John.
It is. It says 1d1 piercing damage, so I'm gonna say that's 1.
Does 1. Yes. Johnny
Why not just say 1?
breaks. Johnny's not really a fighter, so like from Johnny's eyes, you can see him kind of like get up at it and do like almost like Ratatouille style, like the punches it once with his rat hands, and then just bink, 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 turns around, hits it with the tail, bink, and you can feel Johnny get frustrated at this small form not being able to break this lantern, so he backs up, and he just charges it full on, just like gets frustrated, backs up, runs at it, psh, breaks through, and his
as he's
whole body
charging,
goes through it.
I just go, hey buddy, grease lightning, and
And
it really just gives him
the speed boost that he
gives him the
needs. And it busts through. And Johnny, like a grease lightning made out of fire, runs through this tent, catching in a flame. It does, however, pop Johnny, as he is now an on-fire rat.
Yeah, we tried.
Well,
Well, that Johnny's dead, but I've got plenty more in my pocket.
Johnny 46. Shame. Johnny 47.
So the second that he dies, I immediately pop back into my thing, and I just slap Jove. And at first, it's like, you're like, what the fuck? But then you just like feel the magic course through you for invisibility.
Oh, I love that.
Like the sound of a really taut bongo, but fleshy.
Oh God.
And you just like, as a pool washes, like it's like a pool of invisibility washing over your armor and flesh, and then you are invisible.
Put this to
Just-
good use, Freddy.
So everyone knows, a creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it is on the target's person. The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
And exactly as described, Jove. It's a strange sensation because, like, your point of view doesn't change. However, when you look down, you cannot see your hands. There's no hands, there's no body. Like, you're looking down, and it's strange because, like, usually there's your feet or, like, you know, your chest, like, your shoulders, your arms, like, that even, like, a little bit of your nose that everybody can see all the time or just brain blocks it out. Now there's nothing there. It almost, like, opens up your field of view. It's a bit disorienting, but also really cool at the same time. A novel sensation for Jove. You kind of wonder if this is what it feels like to be Aquila, to look through your eyes all the time.
Mhm.
As that is happening, the fire begins to spread through the tent, and you can see that immediately the three individuals at their like kind of small campfire grab their things and begin to rush towards the fire, screaming out different things, beginning to make quite a bit of noise. They are at this moment completely distracted by this spontaneous fire. One even yells, "It's a rat!" It's the last kind of like, poof, with almost a small little firework of bardic magic, Johnny is extinguished in his own spectacular little eruption. So in this very moment, it is your guys' initiative. Freddy, you've used yours to turn Jove invisible, so Rory, Jasper, and Jove. How does this next 6 seconds proceed? The three individuals are like sitting. They're probably from you guys about 90-ish feet away. They are all still there. They're about to stand up and head towards their tent that is on fire. What do you guys begin to do?
Jove, since he's invisible, is going to use his movement. Since we had kind of placed ourselves closer to the 3 o'clock, he's going to start going into camp. If I'm visualizing this correct, it's kind of like a peace sign. So he wants to be making his way. So he is like going to be cornering around the 3 o'clock tent, so he can kind of like cut off the main tent as anybody comes through. So I know I can't get there on this, but I'll use my he'll go ahead and dash since he's invisible and there's a commotion, and he's gonna start making his way that way.
Absolutely. And so you are heading towards between like the area that's between like the big camp to the 3 o'clock tent, 50 feet that way, I assume.
Yes, because he wants to essentially be able to cut off whoever comes out of that front tent, and then also has the backs of the people that are going to the lit on fire tent. So he's kind of getting the flank.
Indeed. All right. Jove takes his turn. You move the 50 feet. Now they are only 40 feet away from you. Jasper and Rory. As Jove, with you guys, because you know Jove is there, can hear the bits of his kind of scale mail like clinking together, and you can hear the sounds of what Jove sounds like when he's running. It's a very unique sound of a halfling running in armor and such. But you do not see him. And neither one of you are passively perceptive enough to see anyone, but you can kind of hear Jove shuffling around out there. What do you two do?
I think Jasper is going to stealth 40 feet.
Absolutely. Roll me some stealth.
Do we get any sort of advantage from the fire?
You guys don't get advantage from the fire,
Okay,
but
fair enough.
the individuals, they do have disadvantage right now since they are focused on the burning tent in their camp.
Fair enough. Thought it wasn't gonna get worse, and then it did. That's only an 8.
An 8, gotcha. You move the 40 feet forward. Not as stealthy as you were particularly hoping for. You don't feel particularly stealthy. However, it is like daytime with the raging fire going there. Like the shadows are not in your favor. You feel rather exposed, but you move your full 40 feet unaccosted.
With as clumsy as that was, I'm tempted to dash in. Yeah, I'm gonna dash to get another 40, and then use her action to dodge.
Absolutely. You get to like right towards the 3 o'clock tent. You're coming in like between that like 3 and 6 o'clock window. So while Joe's going towards the top, you're going to pinch and move it the other around the side. It's really less of, clumsiness. It's just you are moving at your full speed to get there. And even with this kind of breastplate through bits and pieces, and it's not the cobblestone of Mulemaster, of which always finds you sure footing. This is nature, and you are not a nature girl.
No, sure is not. So yeah, she'll equip her battle axe and shield and call it a lair.
As Jove, you can see Jasper in that kind of full fluid sprint get right to kind of the back corner, the tent at number 3, probably 30 feet in front of you. Rornak, what are you doing?
Rornak is gonna go ahead. I'm gonna ready one of my darts on me, and then can I attempt to go the 40 feet in stealth?
Yeah.
And see if I'm noticed. Yeah,
You can go ahead and attempt that.
and that is with disadvantage. That's a 14.
14. You follow through since you're not sprinting at your full speed. You kind of follow in Jasper's same footsteps, avoiding some of the same less even areas that she did, and kind of follow her path, 40 feet forward. You feel rather good about it with your dart readied.
Okay, sweet. And then if I'll hold that if any of those three guys gets within Jasper and within my throwing range, I'll throw that one out.
Okie dokie. That's your guys' sneak around. Let's see if they notice you guys. Mm. 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 What is there adding to that? The -5, so that's 9, 8.
Plus 20 to perception. What?
Plus 20 to perception. No, it's the -5 because they're dealing with the with that. So -5, that's 9. Two of them, the two that are closest towards the tent, begin like tearing it down and like trying to stamp it up, just calling it a loss immediately. The third one, however, does look back and doesn't meet eyes with you, Rordak, but does indeed see you, Jasper, as you make it to that corner, all already in print. And he is the one with the short sword and has it in hand, pulls it, sees you, and begins to make his way towards you. Now we'll do initiative, as you guys are in place. So, at the top of it is Jove.
All right.
Jove,
so
and you see two of these individuals with your 17 passive run towards the tent. They have not noticed you. They still have their back to you. However, you do see the third one not see you, but see something on the other side, and begin to turn that way with sword drawn. He hasn't moved yet, but he's definitely noticed what you can only assume is Jasper.
Gotcha. And you know my flight path. I'm trying to get around that so I can cut off that main tent. I'll dash if I need to, but so I did 50 feet last. I think I would need to dash
You'd be at
again.
75, so the main tent from you, if that's, about 30, it'd be like another 10, 50, it'd be like 15 feet away from you after your full movement at 75.
Then I will. This tent, is it like, are there like any like tension ropes staked into the ground or anything? The main tent.
The main tent, yes.
Okay.
You see that like while the other ones are rather simple, just like this setup, the two poles and everything. They're enough to keep the elements off, and clearly have been here for a while. So some of them have extra like rain tarp layer over it, a couple of strings here and there. You can even see underneath one of them appears to be like a mat that's been placed down. But the largest tent has like the actual like big supports on it. Not quite circus style, but not unlike circus style either.
Gotcha. Well, then, Jove wants to make the most out of this invisibility, and he is gonna dash 50, so he's like right up on the main tent.
Yeah, and you still have another 10 feet of movement left.
Beautiful. He's just gonna be kind of looking for a something that he can cut that will kind of help collapse this tent. So that's what he's really gonna kind of be.
Roll me a d20 with your proficiency bonus as a sailor.
That's a 12.
That's a 12. You're looking out from this side. You see a couple ropes that could be cut, but nothing that's going to immediately topple this thing. You know that that's going to take probably a couple ropes. You could start on this side, definitely, but just these ropes alone are like it would cause part of it to lean in on this side. You're just worried about how much movement and such that would be with the invisibility. The rules to you are kind of new.
Gotcha.
So that's just kind of what pings in Joe's mind. It's like he could start this. He's just not sure how long it would take to get the full collapse or what the invisibility would do if he did so.
Gotcha. So with that, he'll kind of use that last 10 feet to back up a little bit from the main tent so he can see if anybody comes out of it, and will, yeah, and then we'll call it there.
Yeah, we'll say, Jove, that you are on, like, if we're looking at the 3 o'clock tent, you'd be in, like, the top right corner, like, equal distance from the entrance of the big tent, the entrance of the tent at 3 o'clock. Like, the fire pit is in equal distance as well. Like, you're, like, right in that perfect area. You can see both of them. You can see the individual with the short sword and the brown cloak, like, noticing Jasper, but as of right now, you feel like that no one has noticed you, that they're full attention. And this invisibility thing seems pretty cool.
Yep, yeah, he's happy with that vantage point on the field, and that'll be his turn.
Absolutely. Moving down from Jove is Freddy.
All right. I'm going to get a view on the situation, and I'm going to cast one of my new spells. Do a quick little, a quick strum, almost like I'm fiddling but plucking, and a firebolt forms on my finger. And I'm gonna chuck it at the guy who has noticed, assuming that my party members are probably gonna do better with people that haven't noticed yet. They would do more benefit with any advantage that they would get from that. So yeah, I'm gonna chuck the firebolt at the guy who has noticed.
Absolutely. Roll your first firebolt attack.
Yeah. And then do I have advantage because he hasn't noticed me yet, or has he noticed me? Or I guess it's I'm chucking it at him because he's noticed, so I guess I don't get advantage because he's prepared for battle.
Since he's the one that caused us to go into initiative, yes, this would just be a regular roll. Really, right now the C is if you can sneak it like past Jasper to hit this dude.
Yeah, that's only an 8.
An 8.
So
It has way more kick than you were anticipating. Firebolt, like you're not really a combat magic. Like the first time shooting a gun and not being prepared for the kickback, it poof, and goes wide.
Well, there's that. And then I will. Yeah, I'll send out a. What's the range on Bardic Inspiration?
Ooh, excellent question.
Creature
That can
within
hear you.
60 feet that can hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna make my way in, just because I've done it enough that I kind of know the feel of the range of it. So I'm gonna try and start making my way within range of that, of where I think the battle's gonna take place, which I assume I don't get to this turn, but next turn I'll probably be up in it.
Yeah, you would with 30 feet. Since you were at the full 90 and you didn't move forward that last turn, you are. Rory moved 20, so Rory's like 10 feet towards you. You're definitely within range of like Jasper. You're not sure where Jove is though. You saw where Jove was gonna head, but you cannot see Jove. Your magic working very effectively.
I mean, all he has to do is be able to hear me.
Yeah, I
And he
guess
did
so.
come from the direction that I came from. Oh, but he dashed in, so he's not close enough.
Yeah, with the extra 10 feet, indeed.
Yeah.
He's just out of range.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna assume since I can't see him, I don't want to try and hit him with anything.
Okay, are you holding your bardic inspiration, or are you giving it out?
I don't think you can hold it since it's a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
I have nobody to give it to, so I'm just gonna hold on to it.
and use it later. And yeah, I'm just gonna end my turn there because nothing else I can really do with my bonus right now.
The not focused, not focused, not focused. It actually goes. You see that the two individuals on the tent use their action to rip the tent down, and they begin stomping it out. The fire has spread, but it hasn't consumed the entirety of the tent with their quick thinking. So they're currently ripping it down, stomping on it. So that's both. They're both going to use their action to get that fire out and stop it from spreading. So they're currently doing that. It goes down to actually Jasper.
Let's see here. I think. Yeah, she's probably just gonna close in on the one that can already see her, and make an attack on him.
Do it.
Ooh, that's not. I don't like to see that. That's 13.
13 just hits.
Ooh, lovely. There's nothing jazzy about this one, so it was just the D8. For 7 slashing.
Yeah, you see this individual. They pull out their short sword, and you close the distance. You carry that energy with the sprint, so it's less of that sneak attack, more just trying to body and step into range before they can get their feet set. And you give one good slash and catch this dude straight in the chest, giving a deep wound. He's clearly bleeding, but still has plenty of fight left in him.
And then, like, as quickly as she appeared, she's gonna disengage with a bonus action and head back towards Rory, probably within 20 feet of him, if I can.
He moved 40, and you are to get there. 10 feet forward, 30 feet back.
Or just as close as I can.
Yeah, so Rory would be, since you moved the full 80 forward, he'd be about 20 feet away from you. But you disengage, like, you run in, make this strike, and as he's kind of recoiling from it, begin to immediately pull backwards with the same amount of speed. So yeah, you're about 20 feet away from Rory. Rory, you see this all happen in quick succession of boom, and then back, and then Jasper's already halfway towards you, as that dude can, register that he's been cut.
And yeah, she'll just whip back around and raise her shield, and that's it.
All right, then it is Rory.
Alrighty. I imagine if I get any closer in range to throw that dart, I would be pretty visible, right? There isn't any
Oh
way
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The fight with the, you see the fire, you see them stamping it out. Go ahead and roll me a perception check right now.
Of course. That is a passive 12.
A passive 12. Yeah, right now you see that those guys are definitely dealing with the tent right now. And Jasper has this full individual's attention. You're gonna need to move in closer. He's not focused on you currently. He's more focused on Jasper, but, I mean, she's running back towards you right now. You feel that you're pretty exposed.
Yeah. I'll move. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get my movement to get about 20 feet from the one that Jasper just struck, and I'll throw my dart at him.
Jasper, as you move backwards 20 feet, Rory, you move forward 30 feet, and pass each other. Throw that dart. Go ahead and do it. Do it.
Let's do it. Is this with advantage if he doesn't notice me, or is he totally noticed me at this point?
I mean, he's combat ready right now.
Yeah,
he's in full fight mode. His senses are full on.
Yeah, that's fair. That will be a 18 to hit, though.
An 18 will hit, though.
Nice, Sue. So it's gonna be that's 6 piercing damage as he sidearm throws that.
Yeah, and this one, you catch him on the other side of the chest. There's one long, cut down one side, and then a dart straight to the other side. And this, 1 second this guy was enjoying a meal, the next the tent was on fire, and then in a single moment afterwards, one axe swing and a darts later, he's looking incredibly hurt. But still on his feet.
Cool.
I think last thing Rory will do is he'll go ahead and he'll, expecting that guy coming at him, he will go ahead and pull out his bow staff, and I'll end it there.
Absolutely. As you throw the darts in. Rory, how do you describe your darts? Like what exact style? Because dart is kind of a catch-all for all of them. Are they like actual just like sharp, just like meteor lawn darts, or kind of what's your flavor on those? Just for visualization purposes.
Yeah, no, that's fair on that one. I view it as like, as far as the darts go, like I almost picture them kind of being like super precise, like almost like needle thin, kind of, very like surgical almost in like their look, and it's almost like with a bit of that breathing, it's able to keep that thing soaring and a little bit airborne more than it almost should be, when throwing it. But like, yeah, they're almost just like straight thin surgical needles, and he's just got like, you open it, it's like looking at almost like a fucking bag of nails, basically. If you ever opened his pouch and you looked at it, you'd be like, is he a carpenter? It's like, nope, he just throws these at you.
Nice. You sink one of these all the way in. Like you'd have to like push the skin down to pull that one right back out. And you sink it into that guy's chest. However, at the end of your turn, that same individual is makes a large cry out, both in pain and alarm, as is now his turn, and he's going to close the distance to the closest person he can, which is you, Rory. And he's going to make a short sword attack.
Go for it.
That is a 14.
Does not hit. So I'm able to get the staff up just in time there.
However, he drops down low and makes a second strike.
Oh.
However, you're able to, he tries to drop down low, and you immediately kick the bow staff down, and it catches him right in kind of like top of the wrists, and it opens that up, and with a critical fail, he drops the short sword. He is now disarmed in front of you.
Jasper is impressed.
Yeah, just it doesn't even look like it has anything to do on his part. It's almost just in this nice, really solid movement from you, Rornak. You pull out, and with bink bink, it's 2 sounds, and then the sword is on the ground. All right, that's his turn. However, on his, you see from the tent at 6 o'clock, a fourth individual emerges, dressed in the same dark brown cloak, and begins scanning. You can hear him shouting, "What's going on here?" And with only a 7, also heads over to the tent and begins looking around. So you've got 3 individuals on this now put out tent. As we go back to the top of initiative with Jove.
Knowing that the alarm has been sound at this point, he's going to fish out a javelin, and he's going to hold an action, and whoever comes out of the main tent, he'll throw that javelin at. But he'll kind of keep his distance and kind of on the outside ring, and because he had backed up off of that main tent during the last turn, so he'll stay there, have the javelin ready. As soon as somebody opens that tent, he's gonna tag him with the javelin.
Absolutely, Jove. You can see where this is going, and you feel that kind of tension. You can feel kind of Akila's primal bloodlust kind of well up inside you. That anticipation for the moment to strike. As you do that, Freddy, it is your turn.
Hey, that's me.
That is you.
So, at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a choice. And that choice is that I'm going to try this. Um, I'm going to walk towards the center of the camp, and I'm going to shout, uh, "Surrender and don't return attacks. I am a ranking member of the Cloaks, and I demand that you surrender right now."
Roll me. That's intimidation.
Fuck me. 8.
8. There's no response at this moment. However, the three individuals at the tent do all turn around and look slightly bewildered at that. Do you do anything else with your turn? You've moved now another 30 feet, so you're at that 60-foot marker. You're about 20 feet away from the 3 o'clock tent. Jasper is only, since you moved back that 20 feet, 10 feet off to your left. Rory's probably 20 feet away from you, and, well, you're not sure. You have a general idea where Jove is, but you can't see him.
Yeah, I'm going to use a bardic inspiration on whoever is within range and closest to the fight, which I think is Rory, right? He's currently got someone on
Yes,
him.
Rory is currently engaged in a struggle.
I'm gonna take out my my harp, and I'm just gonna say, "If you don't believe me, here's an inkling of my power." And they see the same rat that they saw scampering through their camp earlier, and what they saw poof out of existence when the camp lit a fire, running towards this person that they are currently opposed with, and kind of just like hover around him and dance around his body.
And suddenly you hear from one of the individuals at the tent, "It's the rat!"
God damn it.
It's too late.
And
I've
that
already
is-
committed to the bit.
It's gonna keep going too. I've got 2 more bardic inspirations. And that is my turn. Rory, you have a Johnny.
I love to see it. Thank you.
As you finish saying that, you hear an inkling of your power, and an individual in a much much more used dark brown kind of cloak. It appears to be a half elf of some sort. Walks out, dark brown hair, equally kind of dark brown eyes, just the only faintest bit of sharpness to the ears, but in hand, a spell book with hand raised. Jove, as this individual emerges, you are feel free to let loose.
Do I get advantage from being invisible?
You do.
Yes. Thank God. Much better. That's going to be a 19, boss.
That'll definitely hit. You can see as the javelin streaks through, there's a moment where it strikes, and you can see almost what appears to be like Gara's outer shell from the tuning exams. There's this cracking as your javelin strikes this individual in the chest, and it breaks through, and you can see what looks like almost this outer shell, like his outside was made out of clay, breaks, and it pierces, and then you can see fresh red blood begin to bleed. How much damage do you do?
Well, speaking of Piercer, I rolled a 1 on my first one, so I'm going to use that ability to re-roll my damage dice.
Nice!
And that is better, and so that gets me to 8 piercing.
8 piercing. There's a heavy ugh as it pierces through towards this individual's center. They take 8 of piercing. Good to know. Yeah, as you are now fully revealed, Jove, as you let loose, and since you're right there, Jove, it reaches out and there's a flash of a green light. Can I have you make a wisdom saving throw?
Sure can. Ooh, that's only a 4.
It feels like your entire body has turned to stone. It's like it's like your skin has frozen while your insides still work, and you're currently under whole person.
Ooh.
And the individual, as he like pulls out your javelin, looks around and calls out, "I'll show you what we fucking think of the cloaks," and drops it down. A bit of blood starting to really pour through that, and you can kind of see the Jove, since you're kind of like frozen in like the perfect area to see this. It's almost like bits of that shell kind of refract and pulled in. You can see the bleeding, but it's like it hits the shell and like seeps down lower. It's not actually like bleeding all the way out. It's almost like it's putting pressure on the wound as it reforms. All right, that's their turn. Now it's those two other bandits who turn around, who have seen all of this. One rushes over to strike you, Rornak, and the other one's going to come strike you, Jove. Rornak, you're taking 2 attacks.
Okay.
This time, they have advantage, though. So you got 1 in front, 1 behind. That's a 7. Oh my god! A 7 and 8. That's only a 12.
Yeah, does not hit.
All right, there we go. This one's a 22. As
That will
the
hit.
individual with the dagger makes a dagger strike at you. You take, motherfucker. You take 3 points of piercing damage. As he's able to, with one individual disarmed in front of him, he tries to sneak around the side. You're able to use the staff and pull it backwards and keep him out of reach, but he's able to just barely nick part of your arm. It hurts, but it's not a deep cut by any means. In fact, it's the minimal cut.
Man.
Damn. Rornak thinks, wow, I have a feeling he rolled as low as possible.
Yeah, alright. However, the 2 attacks on you, Jove, are with advantage in a different
Yeah.
way then. So, this individual also pulls out a short sword. That's a 5 and a 19. Okay.
That hits.
The 19. Alright, I want to roll the second attack as well. That's a 5 and a 19.
There you go. 2 hits.
All right.
Okie dokie. For you, Joe, it's 2 short swords, and you know. For fuck's sake.
Ah, that's what you get for celebrating.
Yeah, that's double ones. So you take combined total 6 points of damage, as it's really like 2 quick cuts. However, you're built stronger. You're built thicker, and you might be a halfling, but you're a strong halfling. And these cuts, while painful, do get caught up a bit in your muscles. Between the armor and the muscles, they seem almost ineffective, even here. However, that's their 2 turns. Then it's Jasper.
She's gonna run up and get flanking on the disarmed one by Rory.
Yep, you have the movement for that. So now we've got a Bandit Rory, Bandit Jasper sandwich, as we so often do.
And she's gonna attempt to swing the flat side of her axe and clock him over the head with it for non-lethal damage. If that's
Go
possible.
ahead.
Nice.
Oh god. It's a nat 20.
Oh.
It's non-lethal, but she swung real hard, I guess. So that's gonna be 26 non-lethal damage.
Like the sound
Oh
of
my
a
God.
frying pan hitting a baseball. Bing! And that dude hits the ground like a sack of bricks. He is out. You are fairly sure he's not dead. The placement of it was perfect. However, you're like, this is a magical battle axe. You're hoping that he's still alive. But now it's not the time to check.
Put some salsa on that. Is he seemed like face down in any water or anything or
No, not like
okay.
that. This area is particularly dry. It's why they've made their camp here. Dry as you can be in the flooded forest. With that asterisk
Cool.
there.
He's in concussion protocol, but he's not dead, you know.
You definitely haven't put a blade through his chest, so you're pretty sure he's not dead.
She's gonna use whatever movement she has, and if she has to, bonus action dash. She wants to get flanking on the one attacking Jove right now.
You would need to use your action to dash, but yes, you could do that. Or your bonus action to dash. But you're not in range of anybody, so there's no opportunity of attacks. So yes, you could flank the one on Jove.
And she will, and she'll let out a just wild snarl after knocking that dude just completely unconscious and/or dead. Hopefully get this guy's attention off of Jove, and that's it.
Okie dokie, artichoke. Then, it's Rory's turn.
Nice. Well, the dude I was attacking down, I'll go ahead and turn around and face the one that got me with the dagger, and I
That
will make
nicked
an
ya.
attack on. Uh-huh. We're gonna come back at him with the staff now. And that is a 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Nice. Okay, so that will be for 8 bludgeoning damage. And I will also use a key point to take the dodge action here as well, as I fully
Gotcha.
engage with him. And that's all for Rory.
Yeah. Alright. KO. That dude. 8 points of damage, you say? 8 points it shall be. That bandit's unconscious. However, that other bandit joins the fights and is going to go and flank you, Rornak. So good choice of the dodge, and make 2 attacks.
Yeah, so that should just be rolled normally then.
Yep.
With no disadvantage. Yeah.
One of those is an 8. The other is a 23.
The 23 hits.
All right, you take 5 points of slashing damage. As this individual gets around, and it's this. Right now, you are a whirlwind of quarterstaff and short swords as you are spinning around, blocking multiple strikes from 2 different assailants all at the same time. Only one of them gets through after you clock the first dude right in the jaw with your quarterstaff. It leaves you just open enough for just a quick attack through the side. It cuts moderately through your intercostals. It hurts, but you've got still plenty of fight left.
Cool.
Then, we're back at the top. Jove, you're currently paralyzed.
Right. So,
So
roll for that Wisdo.
At the end of your turn.
No, that's only a 6.
Yeah, this feels. It's almost that kind of green light. It's like being dazed by a flash, and your body just feels so heavy and stuck in place. Even as you are being cut by this individual, you just feel like you can't break out of it. It almost, you get that kind of all-crushing feeling, like when you were in the Obulets. That kind of like madness that's like freezing you up there, this kind of crushing sensation, as now it feels like your body itself is starting to cave in around you. But that's Jove's turn. Freddy, what you got? Freddy?
Yeah, I'm going to look for one of the 2 guys. I'm gonna do a Crown of Madness.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's a wisdom saving throw, so I'm definitely not gonna direct it at the caster, but probably one of the fighter guys. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Whichever one is closest to one of their allies.
Yeah, that's going to be 50-50 shot. Well, the one that's cause yeah, it's like there's the mage torch there. Jasper is sandwiching the one for Jove, so probably the one that just went up and got Rory with the short sword, who happens to also be in your perfect line of sight.
There you go.
All right, so I need to make a wisdom save.
Yeah. Wisdom save as I play a very dissonant chord and have golden thorns whip out in the direction of that man.
Continue on. That's a 3.
Wow, it hit twice. 2 for 2. While the target is charmed this way, a twisted crown of jagged iron appears on its head and a madness glows in its eyes. A charmed target must use its action before moving on each of its turn to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself that you mentally choose. The target can act normally on its turn if you choose no creature, or if none are within its reach. On subsequent turns, you must use your action to maintain control over the target. Yes, I'll just use my action in the future to maintain it. So basically, I get to choose who it attacks, and if I choose nobody, it just gets to make its turn normally. So are the only targets in its range right now Rory?
Rory, the other individual that Rory was because yeah, what 1, 2, the one came around, and the other one came from the tent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there's on the opposite side of Rory. There's another like one of these brown cloaked individuals that this guy could get to within his reach immediately.
He doesn't have
I
to
mean,
move
that's
because this is before
unconscious.
movement.
Before movement, there's a Rory
Yeah,
in
it has
the
to be
way.
before movement.
Yeah, there's
it's-
Rory in the way.
Only Rory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not telling it to make an attack right now, anyways, so we'll have to see what happens when it's its turn. But
Mhm.
that is currently the situation. Rory, you see the Crown of Madness that you recognized from our time in the depths of the pool room.
Is that the one that would be that I'm facing towards, or the one that just flanked me from behind?
The one that just flanked you.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, okie dokie.
And bonus action to do another Bardic Inspiration towards Jasper now. So I let out another very familiar now Freddy Strum, and another Freddy, or not Freddy, Johnny, jumps out of the harp and scampers over to Jasper's. Now Jasper and Rory both have little Johnnies.
Yup.
Dope. Okay. Interesting. It is now the mage's turn. The mage. Let's see, Josh's right there, Joe's right there. You're too far away for any of that nonsense. Okay, could I have Jasper make me a dexterity saving throw?
Ah, fuck. Okay. Ooh, it's good though. Let's go be a saving throw of 19.
That passes. Jove, you automatically fail though, since you are
Okay.
still currently paralyzed. So you see this individual strike a fist into the earth, and there is a rumbling underneath. Jasper, you're able to keep your feet above you. However, Jove, with no ability to move right now, you are immediately knocked prone and take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. As
Does he attempt to make a save on taking damage?
no, you do not for hold
Okay.
person. It's when the caster takes it. You gotta hurt the caster with hold person. However, this also catches the bandit that was engaged with you, Jove, as well, as he is
I
also
love to hear that.
knocked prone and takes 5 points of damage. That's gonna be you, my friend. Okie dokie. As yeah, the mage feels pretty confident right here. He's gonna keep his back to the tent so nobody can sneak up on him. Yeah, mage feels real good. That's gonna be the mage's turn. It is now. It is now those those two bandits. One's gonna use half of his.
Is either of them the one that I have madness?
No, he's at the very end of initiative. So
Okay.
there's the one. He's gonna make 2 attacks against you, Rory, with disadvantage. Nope. It's a 7 and an 8. That's a 9 and a 7. So,
Wow.
Nice.
all right, you off to the side. I usually don't make this move, but no more. You're helping my players too much on this. We're gonna switch it on over. Flavonius, you're coming in. I'm calling in the pinch hitter.
Oh, shit.
God.
I'm calling in the pinch hitter. And amethyst dice, because you've proven your loyalty today. Alright, against... This dude stands up. There's Jove and there's Jasper. Jove's on the ground right now and not moving. So Jasper, you're going to take these 2 licks.
Okie dokie.
That's a natural 20.
Alrighty.
The second one is an 8. Would you believe the amethyst die was the one that came through? You are in now, baby. As
I
Jasper,
do believe it.
you take that's gonna be. You take 10 points of slashing damage. As
Okay.
coming up, picking himself up off the ground faster than you were anticipating. If anything, you're just surprised that Jove isn't up faster. Catches you kind of on the inside of a leg and gets a kind of a deep bite into the inner thigh, where you no longer have some of your armor now that you're using mostly just the breastplate. In an area that once was protected but is now open. That's cool. I like that. That's their turn. Now it's your turn, Jasper.
Let's see. I think she is going to make an attack against this boy.
Mm-hmm. This would count as sneak attack.
Oh no. Well, that's a 9 to hit.
That's not gonna do.
I think, is there any chance she could strafe around him and get between him and the knockdown Jove?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Is it was your miss high enough to use a Johnny maybe? Or was it really low?
If they have the same AC as the first guy, it might be worth it.
Could be. Could be.
Might be worth it.
Could be
Alright,
worth it.
Let's give it a shot. Not pull our punches right now. That adds another 4 for 13.
That is just enough.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Yes.
thank you,
Good
Johnny.
call.
How many times has Johnny pulled through?
Oh,
And what does it do
MVP of this fight,
on
John
an
Bon.
attack?
On an attack roll, the target must make a Constitution saving throw. So go ahead and do your stuff, Jasper.
It's gonna be 5 slashing. Yeah, she's gonna at least strafe so she can get like eye shot on the caster, because she didn't much like having a spell cast at her back. But I think that'll be it.
And 5 slashing, that's with your sneak attack?
Did I still get advantage for?
Well,
having
you have an
Joker?
ally within range.
Probably nearby.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, he might be
Awesome.
prone, but like you're sandwiched right now, which is why you can't interpose yourself between Jove and this guy.
Fair play. Oh, that's another 6.
Another 6 for 11 altogether on this dude. Okay. Yeah. Oh, with the damage
How's
for
he
that.
looking?
How do you want to do this?
Oh, I guess I can't retroactively ask for non-lethal. Yeah, I think with the direness of this current position and seeing Rory kind of getting mobbed on, he's gonna just make a quick cut at the gap at his shoulder where the armor isn't. And yeah, just cleave right into it.
And that brown cloak turns red.
In which case, she is going to double back and get behind one of the ones on Rory using a bonus action dash if she needs to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as you come around the corner, you can see that you can see the golden thorns of Freddy's Crown of Madness on the one behind Rornak, and then
I'll
you
avoid that one.
yeah, so you get up behind the one, and you're just watching, and Rornak right now he's taking like 4 attacks every 6 seconds, and he is dodging 75% of them. You just
Yeah,
are
it's
watching this like whirlwind, just like moving his body in ways that look almost like it shouldn't be possible. The flexibility is crazy.
Yeah,
Using almost the
she's
staff to
pretty
catch,
impressed.
and like it's like the staff is the pole and Rornak is the plate, and he is spinning himself on it.
God damn. Yeah, looking good, bud. Yeah, she'll flank the one without the crown.
Yep, so positively. Now, speaking of the one with the crown, it's not his turn yet because it's Rorty's.
Nice.
Knowing, having already been in a fight with Crown of Madness, you would know that I don't have a lot of control on it, and that it would be best to get him as close to one of his allies as possible, as soon as possible. So if you can do any kind of forced movement on him, that would make my spell more potent. But with that knowledge, do whatever you're gonna do.
That's fair. I think at this moment Rornak is definitely focused on the one that is actively attacking him here. So I am still gonna strike the one that I was facing that just took the 2 attacks on me.
Sure.
You have advantage because Jasper is now lined up behind you.
Beautiful. We're crit fishing here. Didn't get the crit, but that is a 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
Oh, that is 11 bludgeoning damage there on that one.
11 bludgeoning. How do you want to do this?
Yeah, I won't retroactive this one either. So this, like you said, like it's just a flurry of movement, and it's like essentially, it's also like the staff is constantly moving at this point, and Rory is kind of like weaving in and out with it, and I feel like with those last couple of deflections, Rornak blocks it and does like a real quick, like tosses it at their face to like bounce it off real quick just to get him dazed, and as he catches it, just slams it right back upside the head, and just a real quick fluid motion, and the guy just hardly has a chance to even register it before he's just out.
Jasper, this individual's head as it takes that last kind of turns all the way 180 and faces you. The eyes go blank and as this dude Dunskies, leaving only the Crown of Madness individual and the spellcaster on their feet right now. Rornak, you still have your movement and bonus action.
So Rornak notices the crowns. He's gonna move. Well, surveying the area, do I see like the spellcaster and everyone right
From
now?
where you're at, yes, you are aware of where the spellcaster is at.
Okay, Rornak is gonna be a little cautious. He's gonna attempt to move 5 feet away from the Crown of Thorns guy and just see if he gets any reaction, like if there's any opportunity attack that happens.
Mikey, do I get an opportunity attack here?
Yeah, the only thing that I control is at the beginning of each of his turns, I force him to attack something, and then if I don't, he even gets his whole turn normally. So it's adjust that control at the very beginning of the turn.
Well, he's gonna make that opportunity of attack, but that's a 12. I have rolled 6, 7, 8 3 times per each one of these scouts.
Yeah, it must suck.
Yeah, as Ronak is moving away from him, he's got his staff out, so he sees the attack coming and just kind of bats it away real quick. And I will use my movement to move over to the caster, and he'll even I think he'll even say to Jas real quick as he's doing it, just no spellcasters, remember.
And boom, 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 boom. As you sneak past, and you have, with your movements, you have enough to get to the spellcaster.
Nice. I will get right up in their grill. I think their back is towards the tent, so I'll just...
Yes, their
keep
back
it
is
in
towards
there.
the tent. A purposeful move. All right. Then it is that other bandit's turn. The only person really, I guess, he sees is, I mean, Jasper, you're there, so he's gonna move towards you and attack you.
That's a sensible thing to do, I think.
Yeah, especially with this strange golden energy. It's both fear and trying to get rid of it. That first one's a 3. So that's a no.
Jasper laughs at that one.
You know, you set yourself up for these because that second one's an unnatural 20.
Oh,
Yeah, that one will hit.
The first one more of out of fear. The second one out of then a fragile eagle's anger. As that's going to be 5 points of slashing damage.
Okie dokie.
All right, back to the top. Jove, make me that wisdom saving throw.
All right. Let's see here. Come on, boy. That's a nat 20. Hell yeah.
Buddy, there he is.
There we go. Wakey,
Finally,
wakey, Jove.
like the sound of a shell breaking open, you are regain your sense of self, and at the end of the turn, you are no longer paralyzed. You're still prone, but you're no longer paralyzed.
Yay.
Yay! Now it's Freddy.
It's me. I am going to just say, didn't have to be like this, and I'm gonna cast a. Can I get both of the remaining people in a sleep right now?
What's
It
the?
is
It's the 20.
a 20-foot radius,
Yes.
so 40 feet wide.
Yes, you can.
All right. Now I'm gonna cast a second level sleep
All right.
and get both of them in it. As how many is that? I believe it's 5d8 plus 2d, so 7d8. All right. 30 hit points of sleep.
30.
Yep.
Both individuals go to sleep.
Bing,
That's
bang, boom.
wow.
see.
Yeah, give me some flavor on it. How do you do this one? Because this for the 78 for 30, this is a more powerful sleep than we usually see from you. So, give me some pizzazz here.
So just kind of out of spite to the caster, he says it didn't have to be like this, and just gives like a real power chord yet still soothing, as just like gray wisps shoot up into the air and then just like explode like fireworks as just like basically like sleep powder from Pokemon just kind of slowly falls onto the battlefield. And then like the Poppy scene from Wizard of Oz, they just kind of just start feeling really tired. And the Freddy just locks eyes with the caster as she slowly loses her consciousness and just kind of gives her a look of told you so.
And the caster falls kind of backwards, grabbing kind of like a piece of like the tent's opening. You can hear the sounds of ripping as part of that tent is ripped open as she falls back like into it. The other individual, the crowd of men, is still there shining, but they are also hit the death. They almost slump forward and Jasper, like, you go up for the strike and like just leans on you, just completely asleep, and you take a step back and they fall the rest of the way forward and out. We are out of combat.
Jasper will immediately like plunge her axe into the ground and pull out some manacles for the sleeping boy.
Yeah, you manacle up one sleeping boy. Jove, you get
And
to your
since-
feet and you're no longer everyone's asleep now. Oh, what else, Jasper? Sorry.
She'll pull out the other pair and call for Jove to help her with the other unconscious guy, assuming he's still alive.
Freddy's gonna go over and take her spell book.
I was gonna mention that too. With Rornak, I wasn't sure if we were still in initiative or if we're just kind of free moving now.
No, we're at free movement now. Rornak, technically you get there first and you take the spell book and immediately toss it over to Freddy.
Yeah, that's definitely the move.
By the end of it, Jove, with your assistance, I assume, with the manacles, you have
Mhm.
3 individuals manacled: the spellcaster and 2 of the scouts.
Jove will start with his 50 feet of rope, kind of tying them together in a train, so that they can, we can ferry him back. So kind of around the center with some slack in between each of them, not like around the center like a tree trunk or anything, but just like I said, like a train.
Let's make sure we tie the caster's hands tight and gag her.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jove is not kind with the spellcaster at all. Ties those knots tight.
The 2 boys that got murdered, I would like to just like take all their belongings and then just throw their bodies on the fire.
Yeah, you searching through, they both have, leather armor, the brown cloaks, short sword on one, dagger on the other one, I believe. And I believe also, what else? They also have a little bit of gold on each one of them. You find 10 gold between the 2 of them.
10 gold between the 2 of them. And then, unless anybody wants dibs, I'm just gonna sell the basic weapons. If we
Totally
can do
fair.
that right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
So when I get back
DM,
to town, I'll sell them. If you want to just handle that now, Dom.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, we'll just,
So I don't have to think about it later, and I don't have to write it down on my character sheet just for move it later.
yeah, sure. Let me get that up real fast. What were you gonna say, Jove? While I'm searching this stuff up.
I was just gonna say, as I was tying up the spellcaster, he would be checking for any sort of like necklace, amulet type of thing that he's seen in previous encounters.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll me a investigation check.
Good thinking, Joe.
Ooh, that's an 18.
18. All right, Freddy, for 2 sets of leather armor, 2 short swords, and a dagger that you find. I mean, those are on the 2 dead people. Are you grabbing like all of the stuff? I suppose is the question. Or are you
We
gonna?
should at least strip the others of their weapons and stuff, right? Maybe not like completely strip them of like their clothing and stuff, but
Yeah, for the armor sets, 2 sets of leather armor, 4 short swords, and a dagger. That on markets you could sell all of that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 65 gold pieces.
holy shit. Okay.
Ja, like the whole thing, like the whole leather sets and everything, all the short swords, and you see that these short swords, almost all of them are different makes. Like there's no uniformity to any of this. The dagger is differently made than some of these short swords. Some are like more of like the Greek style short swords, more of a point. One is almost like closer to like a scimitar than a short sword at this, by the looks of it. One is like incredibly like long and thin, just like a shorter blade. Um, and the dagger itself is, definitely not made for throwing. It's almost like a shunto, like the little shunto, tiny Japanese blades. So none of it all even seems to match. Joe, with your 18, going over the spellcaster as you're kind of taking care, getting, making sure that hands are bound, mouth is gagged, looking over, um, you don't find any of like the necklaces that you were anticipating. Um, you don't see anything from like the Cult of the Black Earth or Cult of the Eternal Flame, the Crushing Wave. None of those. You do, however, find that on the hands of this spellcaster is the tattoo of a key and a keyhole, like on the palms.
Hey, Freddy, I got something I need your magic eyes for, or well, at least your magic brain for.
Okay. So I'll
Uh,
go over there and take a look at it, and I'll just get what is it? Comprehend languages from my staff of farming.
Yeah, absolutely. You go over, look at it. Roll history on this one, actually, Freddy.
16.
16. You recognize this not as a magical tattoo or something along that, but as for lack of a better term, a gang sign. It is the mark of the turning key. And the turning key, with your 16, it's interesting because it used to be a group of all women thieves that used to plague the Moon Sea about 150 years ago. You don't know a ton about it. Thievery history isn't really your thing, but you recognize that is that all the members of the Turning Key usually had the key and the lock somewhere on their body. This individual has them on their hands. It's strange because it's a very old kind of gang, or at least old by your human standards. But that's what a 16 tells you about that.
Well, that kind of fits the bill. That thing on her hand is just kind of an old marking that some gang members used to have, and the gang was primarily thief based. So I think we found the right guys.
Sometimes gangs, operate in cells in different places. So maybe we should check inside the tent and see if there's any correspondence or any maps or anything like that, and see if there's any more of these fuckers out here. And Jove will go inside.
Yeah, Jove will help, or Jasper will help him with that.
Oh, yeah. As you go inside, you see that it's a large tent. Can see that there are a number of different crates and odd bits and bobs. There's like a barrel that's being used as a table that Johnny ran by. What appears to be, what amounts to a bed in these parts with like actual blankets, like a mat. There even appears to be kind of like an actual floor to this that they put down some like different woods that they've gotten over time and made more of a floor. Like the only really official looking one here. Go ahead and with Jasper's help, Joe, roll investigation with advantage.
And he's specifically looking for like a personal trunk or a bag or something like that. And with the help, that's a 19.
You find a number of things. You see a map of the North Road, with a number of X's on it, different places, going up and down, especially towards the flooded forest. And you can see deeper into the flooded forest, less than half a day away from what you're assuming is your location, with kind of a crude, like, key motif, looks like an X made out of like pickaxes, but they're like shaped kind of like keys, about a half a day's away from what you're assuming is this location. You also see a number of crates. One of them you recognize from Enghara's. Another one you see labeled Hoth and Mercantile, and with that roll, you even notice what looks to be a symbol on that one that seems vaguely familiar. And last but not least, you do see inside the tent a large wooden chest. Heavy, thick, real, locked looking chest.
Does Jasper recognize the familiar looking symbol?
You immediately recognize it. What is the
What
symbol
I'm
of the
looking for?
Zenitrim?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's gonna pick that up.
Yeah, go ahead and real quick, Jasper, roll me a sleight of hand check.
Okie dokie. Ooh. God, 9?
A 9. Yeah, looking through, you kind of pick through this crate, and it is labeled Hoth and Mercantile. You see that there's bolts of fine cloth, spices, other trade kind of goods in here, and you can see that on the inside of this does indeed have the Zenitrim kind of symbol. However, you're a bit let down, perhaps disheartened that there just seems to be normal trade goods in this.
Yeah. I think she knows that there probably is something more to it. She just has no fucking clue what or how. But yeah, she'll
If you'd
just
like, you
close
could
it
roll
up.
an investigation check.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. That looked better than it actually was. 10.
10. Looking through, you look at the symbol, and with a 10, you can see that the symbol itself is actually placed on there. It's not carved in that you were expecting, and you kind of put a hand on it, and you feel part of the box shift. And you shift the rest of it forward. And inside you find, in the wall of this crate, like a long, thin kind of sack in there. You kind of reach and pull it out, and it feels like there's something in there, and you open it inside and you find a bunch of dried looking plants. They're almost like water lilies, but that have been dried out and cured over time. There seems to be, what you feel, the better part of a couple pounds on this one. It's surprisingly got some weight to it when you get the whole thing out. You actually have to kind of get more of the box. You reach and you pull out, the whole thing, and I'd say maybe like a pound or two in here of this dried plant matter.
Okay. You said 3 pounds?
2.5.
2.5. Okay. And this, I assume this crate is much too large to be lugging around the swamp.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
The solution to that,
And which?
that has to do with what I want to do if we want to tackle that real
Okay.
quick.
Yeah. I'll pause there.
Yeah,
My next
absolutely.
thing that I was going to do is I was going to start a ritual. And in front of me, everybody sees a green disc spin into existence. And then I said, wait, I've learned to add a little more personal touch to this. And it starts to glow white and whiter and whiter. And it actually stops spinning. And it's a Jack of Spades playing card, as his Tensor's Disc now has flavor.
Nice.
So this can hold quite a bit of zhuzh. And here's the other thing. And he starts playing a harp, and some rainbow ripples come out of it as you slowly start seeing a 5x5
cargo pallets start to form on the disc, so it like covers a wider range, so we can load a bunch of cargo onto the tensor's disc, and it'll just hold it all. And it has like little walls coming up the side, so they don't like slip off or anything. But yeah, 5x5 because my size limit right now is medium on my performance of creation, but now there is a nice little loading area on my tensor's disc.
Well done.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Efficient.
Yeah.
It's good, Freddy, because
depending on how comfortable we feel, we can also load the bodies on there until they wake up, and then we might want to carry them.
I mean, 2 of them are only just put to sleep, so we could just slap one awake.
As you are making this joke, one other thing you find, you also found 4 jars filled with a pungent yellow kind of a salve, and it's immediately you recognize it as what you've been finding around the trees.
look, folks, I found more of that sticky stuff that wards off the wasps, and I don't know if this was the big kahuna. I found a map in there, and there's a symbol about a half day's journey further into the flooded forest. I had a feeling that an operation that's been causing this much trouble to the trade routes coming in and out of Mole Master is probably more than just a ragtag bunch of these 4. So you said that, Freddy, that that symbol was something of a gang. I don't know if we quite found the rat's nest quite yet.
Oh no, this is definitely not the big kahuna. Like I said, she's probably just a member. If she just has the tattoo on her hand, there's not much saying, especially if none of the other guys do. Have we checked their hands?
No.
We can right
I
now.
haven't.
You all check the hands of both members, alive and deceased, and it does appear as only the mage has the symbol on the hands.
Yeah, there's no way she would be the leader of the gang and not have any gang members in her camp with us. This is definitely not the nest.
Do we, well, let's gather what we can here and maybe take a short rest, and then we can slap her awake and see what she knows.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I took a couple of licks that last just right there, so I need to lick my wounds.
Song of Rest!
Before we actually take that rest functionally, am I able to take my second wind out of combat?
I don't see why you can't take it out of combat.
Yeah.
It's your ability. You
Okay.
can use it whenever you want.
Cool. I'm gonna pop that real quick just to get some extra healing in.
We can
Yeah.
still use the hit dice from the short rest and save that for if you need to in the middle of combat. Because you only get so many short rests, but you can use that whenever.
Right.
And you get because of my Song of Rest, you'll get bonus even if you just use 1 hit die.
I will use 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Go ahead and so
Song of Rest. If you use a hit die, you get an extra 1d6.
Beautiful.
Nice.
More
Oh,
than enough.
max first one.
in total, Jove, especially with that you found not in that big tent, that map, that 4 labeled jars of unknown yellow salve, the crates from not just in Anghara but also from Hoth and Mercantile, and the 1 large chest. And when you try that, you do find that one is locked.
Well, I'm no good with locks, so
I
gonna have to
could
wait on
give
that.
it a shot, I guess.
Hold on. Do you want to do the good old Johnny trick again?
Ooh, the Johnny
I
trick.
still have 1 more Johnny per long rest, and I mean, if we definitely should not go to that second camp today. We should definitely go back to town first, unload everything, take a rest, and then go out. So I think that we should be safe using a Johnny here.
Um,
I don't know if we should go back because then, well, any sort of surprise that we might be able to capitalize on
yeah,
is
they
going to be
might
completely
become
gone.
aware that we've taken one of their camps and they might move.
Okay.
Not that I don't hate the idea of, or don't love the idea of sleeping in town, but yeah, maybe not.
So, are we using a Johnny for the old lockpick trick?
No, since we need to save that one. Just a regular old.
Rory still has one if you want to use it for any skill checks.
I have
Are
not
you
really tried.
proficient in the lock again?
I am certainly not proficient, but I could try with the help of our little Johnny friend here, I guess.
If you want to make any skill check, because on an ability check, when you use your bardic inspiration, when you use Johnny, you can roll the inspiration die again, and you choose which roll to use. So if you only get a 1, you can be like, well, I needed a +3 from my bardic inspiration, so I'm gonna do that. So really, Johnny's not great. His best use is not ability checks, but he does have a bonus when you use him for ability checks.
I'm feeling extra roguey. I think I'll do it without help.
Okie dokie. Do you have a set of thieves' tools on you?
Yes, I do have them.
Excellent. Go ahead and make me that. It's a dexterity check with your proficiency, because you're proficient in thieves' tools.
Okie doke. Nice. That's a regular 20.
The chest opens. Inside,
Small prayer of thanks to Mask for that one.
yes, inside, you find a slightly less than filthy set of clothes. Obviously owned by the spellcaster. They look to be in-town clothes. You find a bundle of scrolls. One.
Ooh.
Yes, absolutely. 3 of them to be specific. A scroll of comprehend languages, a scroll of remove curse, and a scroll of silence. And in an unlocked lockbox, you find 80 gold.
Ooh.
And 1 singular potion of healing.
Ooh.
Now there's the money right there.
Yeah. She'll take
Hell
the
yeah.
potion of healing. Give the bag of gold to Jove since he found the chest, and hand the scrolls to Freddy.
Freddy, you now have a scroll of comprehend languages, remove curse, and silence.
Caleb is just going to immediately count out 20, give everybody 20 gold. Everybody add that. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
I've just erased my gold section one too many times.
I hate how scrolls aren't items that I can do in D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
You can just do you can say this is a scroll of this level, but you can't say what type it is unless you make it a custom fucking item.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Okay, so they were comprehend languages.
Remove curse. And silence.
Remove curse and silence. I have one in my inventory right now. It's a first level. I forget what spell scroll that is, but I have one.
I think it's Speak with Animals from way back in the day.
It is indeed
Could be.
speak with animals.
Yeah, I think I used that though to speak with oh, I have his name actually. Where is it? Little Timmy, the badger.
Ah, you
You're
did
right.
indeed use
You're
that to
right.
speak with Lil Timmy, the badger.
You're right.
Because he comes when you call. Call me when you want. Call me when you need. Little Tommy. Little Timmy Nutsex. Fucking great. Okay. As you guys are divvying this up, Freddy, you're playing your Song of Rest. We're taking a short rest. Go ahead and everybody use the bio break. I know I, as the DM, need to use that. Get your hit dice roll. Just let me know how many dice and how much you got back, and then we will continue over as you guys prepare to wake up the mage. So,
Said comprehend languages, remove curse and silence.
indeed.
Okay, cool. I'm good.
All right. Well, then we'll be right back. Meet back here. Excellent. We've returned. So, how many hit dice did each of you guys use?
I
None.
just used one of my D8.
D8.
Jove used a D10 plus the Song of Rest dice.
I also used one in Song of Rest, back to full health.
So D8. Okay, everybody used one. Got it, except for Freddy,
Yeah.
who was unnecessary. All right, so after retrieving the contents of the chest, taking a bit to rest up, seeing kind of the map pointing deeper into the flooded forest, retrieving this strange dried plant matter from the Hothen mercantile chest, stripping the bodies of their valuable belongings, disposing of the rest, and shackling, and in the case of the mage, gagging and binding of the hands. We return back to our party. The individual who has been knocked out is still unconscious, whilst the two individuals who have been put to sleep are slowly beginning to wake up after this. I believe to sleep lasts, what, an hour or 10 minutes?
I think it's 10 minutes. Or is it a minute? I think it
Minute?
might be a minute. I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. 1 minute.
1 minute. So, the two individuals that were put to sleep are currently bound and tied together in the kind of chain that you did, Jove, with the spellcaster's hands bound and mouth gagged. One of the bandits is currently conscious and has a free mouth.
And having seen our friend from the last adventure being able to teleport and do that kind of bullshit, Jove is just gonna have a javelin ready for this. And if he sees any fucksty shit coming from the caster, he already does not like the cut of her jib. We'll let loose.
Gotcha. Javelin at the ready. How do you guys want to? I guess we'll open up the scene. You've got both of them conscious. The spellcaster currently subdued. Jove ready with the javelin in case any fucks see stuff up. I'll leave it to the party. How do you want to proceed?
I think Jasper kind of flourishing her battle axe a little bit will squat down to his eye level and say, so, want to tell us what the fuck y'all are doing in these forests?
He looks over to the mage. Looks back to you.
Well, look at her. Look at me.
Go ahead and
Answer
roll
my
me
fucking question.
intimidation.
Okie dokie. That's a 16.
16. He looks back to the mage, then to you, just says, "Listen, I'll do whatever she says. She's the leader," and he looks right back at her. "She just lets us keep whatever kind of gold that we find on people. It's a really easy gig. No one ever comes and finds us out of here. I'll tell you whatever you want, but she's the one that knows where it all goes to. I'm so sorry." And immediately you can feel, like, you can hear the manacles, like, strain, the rope tightens as the mage is just staring daggers at this dude.
And how do you feel about the fact that she ignores a cloak saying that that he's gonna fuck you up if you don't surrender?
I feel that shows a lack of leadership and respect for the cloaks.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh.
Oh. And then I'm gonna walk over to the caster.
Smart.
You hear that? Lack of leadership. What is that about?
Oh.
Yeah, no. Did you want to tell me what the little mark on your hand is? I'm gonna remove your mouth thing, but if you start saying any weird words, it can go right back in. It's up to you. I'm gonna take it out.
Listen, I'll tell you a fucking weird word and spits right on your face. Puh. And you little fucker, does like the same thing, and it's this strange thing. It's like tries to go for the headbutt, like towards this dude whilst they're chained. He's going to do so at disadvantage. She's a bad bitch, and she headbutts that dude just straight whack, and tries to lean over. It only does it does literally with her strength score 0 damage.
Oh man.
And Jove wants to put the heel of his boot into her chest and kick her back on her back.
In a strangely familiar way, you put your heel on her chest and kick her over.
Well, that's not very ladylike.
I think to kind of emphasize this, Jasper's gonna put a hand on her chest to keep her from squirming at all, and we'll plant the axe in the ground right next to her head.
Go ahead for her roll an intimidation check.
Can I help?
Yes.
All right. With the advantage, that's a 21.
She locks eyes with you, with the axe, the javelin, the cloak, and being turned on. She untense.
Wait, being turned on or being turned on?
Is this by Jasper?
I was just gonna ask.
God, it's a really. There's just like this tension in the air as you're all here and you make that weird eye contact and just kind of like.
In another circumstance, you know, nice.
The tension breaks. What do you really want to know?
Well, I want to know why you're out here just killing people. Why are you taking their stuff? Why are you killing them?
So we can continue our supplies for Adara.
And Adara is who? Come on, you know I don't know that.
Adara Moonfist. She's the last real member of the Turning Key left.
You're not a real member?
No, I'm Adara's guide. I do it for her. I don't actually care about the Turning Key, but it's her legacy, so.
Okay, do you care about these people that are doing it with you? Because it seemed like you were willing to get them killed over this.
Fuck no. They're spineless, useless in combat. The only thing they're good at is attacking at night, which the only reason they're good at it is because I'm fucking good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say don't show your cards, but obviously we already know that it was mostly you.
Yeah, clearly.
Does what would you say her name was, Adara? Does she have magic too?
She's Adara Moonfist. She's the fucking best thief that the Moonsea's ever seen. You're from Mulemaster. I'm surprised you don't know her.
Can I roll something? History.
Yes, you may roll history with advantage, since it regards Mulemaster.
Well, then I roll regularly because I'm still exhausted. So
Yeah.
17.
17. Adara Moonfist is indeed a well-known rogue with known ties to the Zenitrim. She is indeed the descendant of the Turning Key, which you are now familiar about. She herself is wanted dead in Mulemaster by the authorities. You're not sure if there's a reward by it, but you very much know that it would please nothing more than to have Adara Moonfist killed.
Now, if she's a magical creature.
Magic is not her forte. She is known as an incredibly skilled rogue.
I mean, we found your map, so we know where she is. Is that a camp for everybody, or is that just another camp post along the way that we found on the map?
No, it's not a camp, it's a mining spot. This is the camp. This is all that's left. Ever since she found whatever it is that she wanted,
She left.
she stops by, picks up food, takes all the really valuable stuff. If we find any supplies, she takes it with her in her diggers. That's what you could call them.
What
Whoa.
would you call them?
No, I was gonna ask the same.
Stony masked fuckers. They don't say a word ever. Their skin's all fucked up looking. It's ever since she partnered up with them, all she does now is just go back into the grotto and mine. I won't leave her, but I can't go with her either. So I run the raids. She works on her project.
Sounds like a shitty legacy to preserve.
Yeah, and fuck you and your legacy. What do you know about her? I'm
No,
nothing
not that
without
she
her.
doesn't give a shit about you to have her go run her dirty work for you, taking all the risk, murdering rando people on the side of the road. Do you have even an ounce of good left in you?
Fuck your good and fuck you. I'll tell you, but luckily I know that even if you do find her, she'll just kill you for me.
Oh, just like how you were going to kill all of us just now?
Surprise, surprise. Sneak attacks work. See if you can sneak that one. If you want to find her, go for it. She matters more to me than you'll ever fucking understand. So yeah, fuck your cloaks, fuck your axe, put one in me. I got no remorse.
Where is she now?
Well, that'd be the easy way out, wouldn't it? I don't think we're putting an axe in nobody. I think you're going to get some justice in Molemaster.
Justice and Molemaster, are you fucking new here or what?
And he
yeah,
just
he-
smiles and says, you know exactly what I mean by justice in Molemaster.
Whoa.
Then it sounds like I'm getting the axe either way. Run off to your deaths. Do whatever you want. But don't think you know me, or that you're better. You kill people just fine from what I see.
And not while they're sleeping and telling stories with their kin, but I see what you're getting at. We're proficient at what we do. I'll take the compliment.
Our kills went random, though. Those were payback. You killed some good people. Anyway, I think we got enough out of you, and she'll stuff the gag back in her mouth.
Where Target is?
Oh,
I mean, I assume at the only Ara goes to.
I mean, it sounds like she kind of goes around.
sounds like
Yeah,
she's
for
spending a lot of the time in that mine. So our friend here just let the cat out of the bag that the mine is where she stands. So I figure we're about a half day's journey out from there. So she's crawling out of her cave just to take tribute from her lackeys here. That's probably where she is.
We could go into the mine, or we could see when the next time she's gonna come up to camp is, and just set up an ambush here. And take things on our own.
Yeah, I think if we do ambush her, it'll be a little bit away from the camp. We don't know if they've set up some type of signal to make sure that the camp is safe. So we could choose somewhere between here and things.
And
Yeah.
frankly, if they've got any scouts out in the forest, we did just light one of their tents on fire, so we've got some smoke going up. So might not be the best to be sticking around here. lest we
Yeah.
get ambushed ourselves.
Well, we have some of that smelly stuff, yeah. We could wrap ourselves in their cloaks and cover a bit of them in that stuff while we're walking to avoid wasps at least.
Not a bad idea. I don't suppose anyone happens to know anything about this mine that we're going into, right?
I don't know. Do I?
That would be roll. So it's just a spot marked on the map. Roll me a survival.
Okay.
And I have advantage on history of Molemaster. Does this count?
This is flooded forest.
Then I will
Only
do
a 10.
survival.
From
A 10? No, it just seems, looking at the map and where it's marked, and the way they talked about it, seems like it's not a man-made mine. Whatever they're going down into,
Yeah, just some
it's something they
random
discovered.
spot.
Yeah. Especially with how this caster woman phrased it. Seems like she found something in there. Much.
Rornak is gonna turn to not the caster, but the other, the one working under her that was bound, and ask, "You there? Do you know anything about this? Have they mentioned anything?"
I got an 18.
An 18. And did you roll survival for that one?
Yeah.
You know, through your histories, that is lizard folk territory.
Ooh.
That that you do, as you know, in your studies and just being around this area of the world, that you know that the flooded forest does have lizard folk. They usually stay towards the deeper parts of it, and that this would be crossing into that territory. The lizard folk are subject to many myths and rumors in Molemaster and are constantly the blame for any sort of trouble that happens on the road, but they typically, don't leave their territory, especially with how fertile the flooded forest is. You haven't heard anything about this ever since, since you left Molemaster. But that's what that would tell you. Less about the geography, more of just the territory you'd be entering. But Rory, as Freddy's mulling that over, what did you ask your one of the bandits?
Yeah, I mainly asked him, what he knows about the mine, or if they've mentioned anything to him.
No, they don't tell us anything. All I know is that, they come and they get their supplies and they go down in and then they're there for days and days and days, and sometimes we'll see them once a 10-day. There's been some parts where it's been the better part of a whole month before we see them. We just gather the supplies. I mean, there is something wrong with the ones in the mash, though. They walk all weird. They're like too stiff, even with how marshy everything is, they just move. I mean, the reason we don't head with them is because it's too dangerous, and only Dora and them seem to be able to move that far into it without, getting attacks and all that.
Sounds like she made friends with somebody in the mine, if I had to take a guess.
Now, friend, have you seen these folks wear a symbol like this? And Joe will take the back end of the spear and create the cult of the crushing earth a symbol in the dirt in front of him.
How'd you know that? Is with the symbol they got on the masks?
Yeah, I had a sinking suspicion. Look, we're way out in the wilds. Somebody found something. We've seen the song and dance before, people. We've tapped into something ancient. And I don't know if we can, or at least I can abide by just walking away from that.
No, we might be on a timer.
Though I think we can leave these folk here. This gentleman has certainly earned his day in court. The other one, I think, well, like I said before, Mulmaster Justice and all that. We tie him to a tree. At least the wasps won't get him.
That's
And if we,
that's good thinking.
Not a bad idea. Actually, one last question for you, because you've been helpful, friend. When was the
Oh,
last
thanks.
time they? When was the last time they came to grab supplies? How much they take?
Last night, after we finished with the last raid, they wanted all the different golds and like some of the strange tools and everything that we found. That sorry, not to speak so candidly about the dead and stuff. It sounds like they might have been important to you, but the gnome with all the gold jewelry on and stuff like that. She takes all the valuable stuff like that. I don't know what she uses it for, but came and got it the same night.
Well, we know they're not far ahead. I agree that we should head out soon before they get too much wiser about everything.
Yeah, let's tie them up to a tree.
Who's hemming the knots?
Jove.
Joe,
So
go
say
ahead.
probably the sailor.
Joe, go ahead and roll me the dexterity with the sleight. Well, no, it's sleight of hand. For not dying.
Ooh, nice. That's a 21.
Oh yeah, Jove. Yeah, you're starting to make an art of this with the manacles already attached. Child's play.
And because that guy helped us so much, Jove is gonna reach into, kind of get his wineskin or whatever he's holding water and just kind of give the guy some drink. Give him a little drink of water.
Oh, thank you.
Look, we're not like her. We're not in the business of killing people that don't deserve it. You did some shitty shit, and you're gonna have to pay for that. But you've been helpful, so if you stay here and you make sure that that one doesn't do anything fucksy, I'll vouch for you once we get back to town.
It wasn't always like this, We used to just be regular, highwaymen. Cast off from Mulmaster. Found her, Nadora. And for a little bit there, it was all really good. It's just taking what you need when you need it. Hiding out in places, seeing the moon sea. But yeah, whatever they found, it just made them. Then it wasn't about surviving, it was about something else. Oh, please don't die. Because I think if you do die, I think that definitely means you're gonna die.
Well, it looks like our fates are intertwined, friend. And he'll kind of clap him on the side of the face, not like slap him, but just kind of grab him, and walk away.
And as you're walking away, he kind of leads to the other one, the still unconscious guy from Jasper's accident. Paul. Paul. Fuck. As you return back to your group.
Now I want them to be the Beatles.
Oh my god.
Paul.
Paul.
So is that dude Ringo then?
I wrote this song, Paul.
I heard that Ringo is your favorite member of the Beatles.
We finally have time for you to listen to my songs, Paul.
Oh no.
You return back, Jove, to the rest of the group. You guys have secured your bandits.
Joe's gonna take out those jars and of the salve, and he'll kind of apply it to his shoulders and cloak, and pass them out to everybody, and suggest that they do the same.
Jove, you have applied the salve. Who else? Is
Jasper
anyone
will
else
do the same.
partaking? Jasper partakes in the salve. Who is partaking in salve?
Everyone, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You all partake in the salve.
Peer
Um,
pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. You find that there's an abundance of this salve there. So even after you guys are all salved up, there's still plenty left. In fact, almost too much to take with any individual. But all salved up, with a map in tow, who wants to lead towards deeper into the flooded forest?
I think Jove will take point on that, using the map to get himself a good direction. Curious, DM, we're kind of like later in the day, right?
Yeah, at this point in the day, you're probably looking at like 1, 2 p.m.
Oh, okay, so plenty of
Yeah.
daylight left.
Yeah, it took the half day to get into to where these bandits like. It'll be a full by the time you're done. Reckon a day's journey in. Um, they're going more towards the center. A lot of your time in the flooded forest has been out towards the river, just being more connected to that and the way of the Moon Sea. This is you're going deeper in towards it, sticking closer to the like almost towards like the Earth Spur Mountains because they continue actually all the way down here. You know that if you pop your head above the tree line, you'll be able to see the Earthspur Mountains off to the east.
Well, Jove has navigation tools. I don't know if that helps with reading maps and going off of that. But
Go ahead and
Jove's
roll me a d20 with proficiency.
Shut. Ooh, nice. That's going to be 18.
18? Yeah, you feel very confident that you are like heading towards the right direction. You know, rough maps like this, it makes it seem really easy from the map's point of view to go in a straight line. You know that the trek itself will be more difficult. But you feel very confident that you have a right bearing on this. In fact, roll me a survival check with advantage because of that.
Can we take that kind of fan formation that we started this module with?
Indeed, I don't see why not. With our fast people on the outsides, 20 feet away from Jove and Freddy in the center.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Jove, what's that survival check?
Survival is 19.
19. Jove, you can see leading out the other side of the island, outwards, what is clearly the fresh trail of a number of individuals. It looks like two of them, incredibly heavy footfalls, humanoid in appearance, and you follow that way down. You find kind of the other half of this island leading deeper into the flooded forest. You can immediately begin to hear the sound of the giant wasps, their patrols. However, this time, as you pass the barrier, you all kind of turn, and there's a group of 3 of them right there, just bzzz. But as soon as you walk by, they, like parting a giant wasp sea, it's almost like 1 part invisibility, 1 part repellent. As you're able to begin following deeper and deeper into the grotto. It gets far more boggier here. The water rises slightly. But with Jove's good rolls, and as a ranger, you're able to navigate relatively well. Can I get everybody to roll me a perception check?
And disadvantage because I am exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
Passive's 11.
11.
18.
18.
My passive is 9.
9. Rory, you're muted.
Sorry, thank you. That's a 21. Almost had the nat 20, except for disadvantage.
21. Wow.
I rolled 19 and 20, if you can believe that.
That's great.
So, while Freddy and Jasper are struggling to maintain pace in how thick and bog-like this environment is becoming, with those good rolls, we can read out this scene. So several miles into the journey, as the forest becomes more swamp-like, the ground is wetter, the air is thicker, the insects more prevalent. However, the salve seems to be benefiting you and keeping the worst off of you. You slog through more and more of vines. They seem to tangle from the trees, increasingly impairing your view of the path ahead. As you pass through one such curtain of vines, Rory and Jove, you spot a creature standing only must be 20 or so feet in front of you. It's two-legged, reptilian, dark green scales across its all-powerful body. Thick talons extend from its hands and feet, and a red-frilled crest runs down from the head all the way down to like the sinewy tail. A feather and bone adored amulet around its neck, and a similarly decorated rod in its clawed hand suggests some level of intelligence. It looks to you steadily with yellow eyes. Everybody go ahead and roll me a stealth check real fast.
Oh. Nice.
Disadvantage because I am exhausted. Oh,
That's
the
a
second
12.
roll is a lot better, but first one's a 10.
A 10,
16, and that was with disadvantage.
a 16,
That was 22, and that was with disadvantage for just having scale mail.
22, and Rory,
12.
12. Does not spot you guys. With two of those rows being exceptionally high, even with the disadvantage. Jove and Rory, you see this individual, and Jove, quietly you're able to let the rest of the group stop and get the so everyone quiets down as this reptilian-looking creature goes down. Can I have everybody, now that's been pointed out, roll nature?
Ten.
10.
Disadvantage. 11.
11.
6.
14.
14.
And 6.
Everybody except for Rornak, because Rornak, this is a completely new concept and creature for you. You have never seen anything like this. The rest of you, the DC was 10. Recognize this immediately as a lizard person. Lizard folk.
I feel like after hearing that this was a lizard folk area and seeing this creature, they could probably put 2 and 2 together.
Oh, oh yeah, absolutely. And it makes a lot of sense for us. But it's for fun.
Insight DC of 1.
Insight DC
Ah,
of 5.
that's probably a lizard person.
It could be a small dragon. For Rornak, for you, either one could be true. This, you've never seen a scaled creature on 2 legs such as this before, which also makes a lot of sense considering where you're from. But as you guys kind of push through this curtain of vines, are able to see it, you stop. It hasn't spotted you, but is clearly on alert for something. What would you like to do?
Since Jove is like right next to Freddy, he's gonna in hushed tones talk to Freddy for a second and say, "Well, should we hit this thing hard and fast, or try and get around it? This is probably a scout of some sort, so might want to nip it in the bud."
Just depends on how comfortable you are murdering a lizard person that you don't know.
Fair.
Because I mean, we're technically invading its territory. It's doing nothing unbecoming. So
Well, do you want to?
ultimately, if it sees us trespassing, it'll probably want us dead, and at that point, we're defending ourselves. But if we go on the attack, it's kind of just up to how we feel morally about that.
Well, how about you try and go parlay, and if it doesn't want to talk, I'll throw a javelin at it.
Sure.
Does that sound all right with you, Freddy?
Yeah, let me see if comprehend languages lets me speak it or just understand it. I mean, he'll probably understand some common. Because I don't even know what language. I don't even need to know what language it speaks. I just kind of do it. Let's. Oh, it'd be my spells then.
Indeed.
Let's look at comprehend languages. Creation. You understand the literal meaning of any spoken language you hear. You also understand any written language. Takes about suppose.
So what's the dealio here?
Jove is definitely going to be like trying to catch the attention of the other two in the wings to, bring attention to Freddy and himself.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, Jasper is just like perfectly still, waiting to see if things go wrong.
Rory.
Yeah, Rory's just gonna like grab one of the darts and just kind of hold on to it, but otherwise he's gonna remain where he is and just keep an eye on things.
And so, Freddy, are you casting comprehend languages?
You mute yourself on accident?
Hello?
Oh, you did.
There
Oh,
it
there
is.
you are.
Yeah, my internet just conked out on me, so I'm on my phone for now.
Oh.
That also means I don't have my D&D Beyond account. But yeah, I'm gonna go up to the lizard person and try and talk to him.
Okie dokie. You approach the lizard person. You make the, take like 10 feet forward, go about halfway. What do you say to this lizard person?
Hello, do you speak common?
And as you say that, it turns and says, Svas Getrashik Bobi.
And I just literally understand it. So as literal a translation as you can give.
You what? Jove, you understand that in a interesting sense, as you don't understand exactly what's being said, but you immediately recognize that as that is the language Aquila speaks. That is Draconic. And you can hear immediately Aquila perks up inside and si me vas Draconic? You understand that's more as a the direct translation of that Svaska is who goes there?
Jove is going to try and like tap into his connection with Aquila and say, "Hey, friend, I don't think our fight are with these folk, but they seem to speak your language. Would you mind using that silver tongue of yours?"
Da, stand me out.
And Freddy, like as you're approaching, you see like a bolt of lightning strike the kind of the boggy mess next to you as through that kind of arcing lightning cloud, you see Aquila take shape and kind of whip her tail onto the ground, and I feel like tries to puff up and look very regal as she goes to address the lizard folk.
Hey, Aquila, can you show this guy that we don't want any harm, or let us know if we're intruding or anything?
Aquila looks at you with her little drake eyes and looks back, and you hear her say, "Simi Aquila, nomen yo Jalil habik reti tempiviso equis levenwers for shashar sombe raveri." Which you understand. Jove, you understand what is being said, as do you, Freddy. And she says, "I'm Aquila. These two legs are not here to harm the forest, but to help you." And immediately the lizard folk nods their head and speaks another like bout of draconic that you guys understand as surprise. One that speaks our tongue.
Yeah, I
Then
guess
we shall
it's,
parlay.
Aquila, tell him that it is good fortune that we can parlay like this, and tell him about what we just encountered at the camp, and what's in the mine shafts, and kind of what we're here for, just to give him a general idea so we don't have to dance around it.
Jove, go ahead and roll for Aquila a persuasion check. Or performance, your pick. As she tries to tell from her perspective.
I'm just double checking to see if she has any such bonuses. Does not look like it. Okay, so she is going to be as charismatic as possible here, which is not bad, a 14.
A 14. Yeah, Aquila gives a basic rundown of exactly what happened. Mostly talks a lot about the fighting, more than anything else. A lot of the focus on the fighting, and how that's gone down, and about the giant wasps and Jove getting stabbed a lot. It's. I won't do the whole thing, but it's a very much of just like, from Aquila's point of view, of like her giving Jove the power to slough through and drag you guys into this marsh to go violently confront people, and now you're on a path to go violently confront the people that are next. And this strange, like, hissing noise comes from the lizard folk. And they stomp this kind of what looks to be like a large javelin with the whole feathers and everything attached to it, and stomps it into the ground twice. And from this, it appears as if this lizard folk is laughing. You hear them speak back in that same kind of draconic, hard language, and point you into a direction. Takes the spear and kind of gives Aquila a very direct route to where they are. He speaks of other encounters with them, of many skirmishes over and over and over, that they have been fighting with this group of individuals, described as a she-fang and the stone fists. As Aquila kind of relays that back to you, and you hear that as well, Freddy.
Jove is going to prod
Go ahead.
Aquila to say, make sure you thank the fella for that information. That's really nice.
She does, and speaks some more words on the side, learning that this individual's name is Sozaksku. If you're running SOXAQU. So Zaku.
Lizard man.
But that is with directions from that, Aquila gives you the directions to what is referred to as the grotto.
Jove will take those directions and with Aquila start heading in that way, and kind of will puff up and just acknowledge the lizard person as he comes forth kind of from his hidey hole, and doesn't really bow or anything, but just kind of like, you know, the same energy as like a salute, but not quite that formal.
Aquila, following kind of your lead, rears up on kind of the two legs, using the tail to kind of stand up straight, and flexes like the fullness of both like chest, and you can almost see like the scales kind of ripple. It's kind of like when Bruce Lee does like the intercostal flex, and you're just like, damn, that dude's got muscles on the sides. It's a lot like that, and Suzaku makes the same kind of gesture, like expands the chest, kind of frills out the lizard folk plumage, and as he does so, and you kind of come from the side, revealing yourself, Jove, Suzaku kind of puts the spear into the air, and 3 more of these lizard folk individuals, all different, all similar shades of kind of dark green, although not adorned in the same kind of amulet that Suzaku is, but all wielding an interesting set of gear. They appear to be large, twisted, like pieces of the flooded forests that have gone like completely black. They seem almost more closer to like metal than anything else, including shields that seem to be like twisted, spiked brambles that have been woven over each other over and over and over again. And interesting but nasty looking bits of weaponry, as suddenly there are 4 of these lizard folks, and they do the same kind of gesture back to Aquila and yourself.
Yeah, Joe feels good about that, and we'll kind of part ways and continue on to their destination of the grotto.
Indeed you do, as the rest of you all just kind of follow Joe's lead, and Aquila walks proudly and, if anything, is leading you, Jove, on the way forward. Well done. You did not embarrass.
I can say the same about you, Aquila.
They're understandable.
Since I can still understand Aquila, I'm just gonna say Aquila would never embarrass. Excuse you.
Correct.
Hey. Yeah, you're right about that, Freddy.
When did that one learn how to understand?
Oh, he only gets bits of it now and then. Don't worry, we still got our secret code. And Jove will kind of test out just giving her, not like a full-on pet on the back, but just, you know, he's going to put a hand on and just kind of jokingly break that touch barrier.
That is an annoying trait. She seems, you don't get bit, but she doesn't lean into it either. Just kind of like the okay.
Okay. It's like hugging somebody that doesn't want to get hugged.
Yeah, just like the all right, you done? Good. But Aquila begins to lead you through. The going here is exceptionally difficult. Luckily, with the directions from Sazexcu, led by Aquila and with Jove, you are able to make a decent amount of time. There's still a good chunk of daylight left as you continue to move further and further along. You do find more and more evidence of these trails, Jove, but I do need everybody to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Here we go. Exhaustion stage 2. Oh.
Hey, that's a 21.
Success.
Oh, not 2022.
Success.
Nice.
14?
Success.
Oh,
15.
Success.
Yay.
With good guidance and in an adaptable state of mind, you guys traverse through a deep part of the flooded forest. The tracks in this kind of dark earth lead you around a muddy bog. The air has gone from humid to heavy. It feels thick, but not with water. It's a strange sort of all-encompassing heaviness that almost makes your lungs feel like they have to strain, even with this guidance. You feel kind of a gentle breeze blows towards you from the west. And near you, at the edges of kind of this peat-covered bog, there are many purple reeds with mushroom-shaped bulbs that are poking through the moss. As you're kind of following this trail, avoiding the deeper parts of this bog, it comes to an end. There's a rocky outcropping at the base of a hill. There's a wide cave-like opening in these rocks, flanked by wheelbarrows, piles of stone, and broken pieces of shovels, picks, and other tools. Go on, everybody, roll me a perception check.
Disadvantage.
17. Passive.
Passive
11.
Passive 12.
10.
You all can hear coming from inside of this, more of like almost this crack in the earth, the sounds of digging and what sounds vaguely like shouted commands. Jove, with your 17, you can hear what sounds like a gurgling of earth, or the sound of somebody raking together a bunch of rocks. A back and forth, there's like a pause. You'll hear this kind of rumble, and then a pause, and then another rumble back, but in a different tone. Almost like a conversation.
Yeah, Jove does not like that. He'll relay that to the other folks and say, "Y'all hear that? It sounds almost like rocks getting crushed together, but kind of in different tones. I don't know. Maybe we got some more of those Rocky boys like we met down in Fort Iron up ahead. So keep sharp."
You think you could eavesdrop on him, Freddy?
Yeah, let me just see if I need to use another charge. Has it been more than an hour since I cast it with the lizard person?
Yeah, it's probably been 3 or 4 hours at this point.
Okay. Then, yeah, assuming it's primordial, because we've heard enough of that at this point.
It's a safe assumption.
Gonna cast it again.
You do, using the power of the Staff of Charming. And now the kind of rumblings change. Instead of the sound of like earth rumbling against each other, or like a small quake, you hear, "Why does it have to be me again? It's not fair." And then another one saying, "Don't care about your fare, care about you doing the work." And then a response, "I'll kill them if they keep it up." And it's strange to hear just the directness of this, because it still sounds exactly like that earth churning, but now you understand it.
Right. Turn to the group. Well, it's a whiny bunch. Now we don't have any way of, if they don't speak common, we don't have an Aquila that speaks primordial. Does anybody here? I mean, obviously we would have understood it if anybody here already spoke primordial. So I guess we don't really have that. So we can either try and parlay and hope they speak some kind of common. Which, I mean, if they're taking orders from, oh, by the way, they said that they're working for somebody and that they're taking orders. So if they're taking orders from somebody, they have to speak some other language, right?
Look,
I feel
Freddy,
like in all of our dealings with these cults, there's never once been a time when they've actually cared to parlay.
I'm 100% behind Jasper. We know that these folks are cultists. We're spear points out at this point.
Okay. Then run in.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely not here to negotiate with the cultists, so.
Yeah, I guess shock and all it is.
All right. How do you guys want to fuck this pig?
So we're on kind of. Could you describe the setting a little bit more?
Yes, absolutely. So, you guys have been traveling deep into the flooded forest. It's become boggy in many parts. There's only slight trails that lead into this area. You guys are have rounded around part of this bog and found this kind of grotto, this crack in the earth. There is a singular path that's about 5 feet wide that leads into it. You can see that there's a small number of like wheelbarrows, like the broken shovels and such, at kind of the mouth of this crack. The sounds are coming from within. And on the outsides of like in the bog, you can see these strange purple reed-like mushrooms growing out of it. The crack itself is easily 10 feet in diameter, if not larger. And the noises are echoing out from that. But the primordial, now that you can hear it, sounds very close. The actual commands and like the pinging and dinging sounds, those sound deeper in. Does that help set the stage a bit?
Yeah, so if I understand you, there's kind of a crack in the ground where it sounds like they're kind of directly beneath it.
That they are indeed inside of this crack.
And how far away from that are we?
You guys, about 50 feet.
Ooh, we could just fucking rush him.
Yeah, and the actual the like actual crack is about 15 feet wide and about 10 feet like out. So length by width.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sizable. It's not like a Junji Ito like horror
Yeah.
novel. It's like it's sizable.
It was made for me. Let's. Yeah, I think let's just rush him and try to drop down on him.
It was made for us with that size.
Yeah, absolutely. As you guys begin to rush forward, peering into it, what you see are strange little creatures flapping a few feet from the entrance of it. They have long, pointed ears and a nose to match, with kind of misshapen, porous wings that don't look capable of keeping it aloft. And the whole thing is covered in mud. The back of their skulls almost seem exposed, elongated, almost like on the point of bursting. Like as if someone had increased all the brain matter inside and puffed it out.
Ugh.
And that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yes, I know we could, as much as I want to keep going, this is where things really start to pick up. So now is the time to call it there. So let us say goodnight to chat.
Good night,
Hey,
chat.
chat.
Nighty night, chat.
Thank you so much, chat, for being here with us tonight. We'll be back a week from today for episode 24 and part 3 of Bounty in the Bog. Thank you so much. Peace in the Middle East. Much love. Nighty night.